Hello, everybody.
Hello, chicken nugget.
Hello.
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 Hello, imbecile.
All rise and like, subscribe, and bang the gavel, baby.
Order in this here court. That's not a court. We're not lawyers. We got a case though, and we like to watch live court proceedings.
I like where you're going with this, Creed.
Jackson County, we're starting off with. You said Judge Merrick.
I call him Judge Norbert because if you've ever seen a Norbert before in your life, this personifies Norbert. If you look it up in the dictionary, Judge Norbert, this is who you see.
Nice. Well, let's
quick disclaimer, real quick, Creed.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending.
Case pending, Creed. Case pending.
Judge on the felony charge of possession of methamphetamine.
Rachel Butts in the house.
Court imposed a standard sentence, which is 17 months with the Department of Corrections. Defendant is presumed probation. It's recommended that probation be for 18 months with community corrections. He is Senate bill drug treatment eligible as well. However, this sentence, there is also though the special rule number 9 in that he was on, looks like, felony probation for a couple of cases. This sentence would need to run consecutive to any sentence that he may ultimately serve on either of those cases. Also, it looks like his post-release supervision would be for a period of 12 months. There's a second offense of possession of drug paraphernalia as a Class B misdemeanor. We'd ask the court to impose a 6-month underlying sentence, county jail. I'll leave it in the court's discretion of whether or not to run that concurrent or consecutive to the felony. But regardless, we don't object to the same probation terms and conditions being granted on the misdemeanor as well. We would ask the court to impose court costs of $193, probation supervision fee of $120.
How am I going to pay that, Judge?
There's a KBI lab fee of $400. It looks like Senate bill related fees totaling $300, and we'd ask the court to determine his ability to pay his
Rachel
fees
Butts in
and
the
court
same
appointed
place. They got
attorneys.
the same color wall.
It looks like that the defendant would have 2 days of jail credit that could be credited towards his underlying sentence, and the state would have no objection if the court does that. That'd be the state's comments.
He's in the Village People.
Okay, Ms. Bill.
Judge, my client would ask that you follow the recommendations made by the state.
Good
My client throughout this entire case has stayed in
buddy.
very, very good contact with me. Also, throughout this entire case, we've had to work our conferences around his work schedule. So he is a very hardworking man. That's always, he feels that that's an important thing, is keeping him clean is his job. He has a job and a family in Atchison, Kansas.
Is that Mr. Oliver we're talking about? He looks like a
that's where
hardworking guy.
He is doing this offense, Judge.
All right, sir, any comments you want to make?
I think they said it very well, Judge. Thank you.
Okay. In this matter, court sentences you to 17 months Department of Corrections. That's a presumptive probation sentence. You'll be placed, so the sentence will be suspended. You'll be placed on 18-month community correction probation.
It's like 17 months after all that.
That sentence will run consecutive to other prior sentences that are specified on your PSI. Credit for 2 days. On the misdemeanor, you're sentenced to 6 months Jackson County Jail, suspended in favor of the same probationary period. Those 2 charges will run concurrent.
We need 180 more
Court costs
subscribers.
are $193. There's a $400 KBI lab fee, $120 supervision fee.
Nice.
$45 booking fee, $300 Senate bill fees, and the court finds you can reimburse for bids fees and attorney's fees, and will direct you to do so.
Joke's on them. Mr. Oliver lost his job 3 days ago, just wearing his outfit.
Yeah, to look good on good court.
You want to get that from your attorney.
Getting the Friday started, Starkey.
All right.
Thank you.
So you're going to need to call your community corrections officer.
Bigfoot.
That's Mr. Lowe. Tell me when you're ready to write his number down.
I'm ready.
0.
785-230-0121.
How bad would you feel if Elite was your lawyer?
Okay. And you said his name was
Gotcha.
Mr. Lowe.
Yeah. So call him as soon as you can. I realize you're at work, but until you call him, you can't get things going. And so he needs to give you some directions. And also, until you meet with him, it wouldn't be possible.
Well, they're
for you
still
to
going on
transfer
that.
your
I
case
want to
possibly
jump over to this
Atchison,
lady.
if that's what you're interested in.
Love this lady. She's a, oh, wow. She, oh,
Judge Middleton, Mike.
You need to delete her name and contact
Yeah.
information. Sending a blank or empty message is considered to be contact, since I'm instructing you to make it so it cannot happen.
oh,
If the communication comes from you, the court will consider it to be contact. It will not be a defense that you accidentally contacted her. If you go to a store, a restaurant, a party, for example, and she is there, you must leave immediately. If you make a phone call from the jail to somebody who you are allowed to be,
well, he did something bad.
you need to disconnect the phone call. If she contacts you, you do not reply to her. This is an order of the court. She cannot change, alter, amend, or cannot change, alter, or amend my order in any way. She cannot change it. Only the judge can. If she were to invite you over, ask to meet you somewhere, or contact you for any reason, you cannot violate the court's no contact order. If you do, you will go to jail. If the order needs to be changed in the future, then there will be a hearing.
That's not really fair.
They're present. As it
I know it sounds like she can bait the living crap out of him. It's fine.
She can entrap you all she wants.
appropriate. It's the only time it's been brought.
He's got a
up.
look on his face like,
Today by
duh.
Mr. Taylor, what the court will add in the no contact is that upon your hearing and when you are released from jail, Mr. Burns, you would be allowed
Mr. Burns.
your regularly scheduled parenting time, as long as that is through a neutral third party and it is not at the address
He's woke,
she
huh?
has as her legal residence address or wherever she may be staying. There's usually neutral ground where that can occur.
Hello, my name is Mr. Burns. I believe you have a letter for me.
Okay, Mr. Burns. What's your honor? Can we move up those dates? Then
Mr. Burns, what did you do
and conference
now?
and the preliminary exam.
I'm not going to reschedule the probable cause or preliminary examinations. He can have his bond violation hearing next week.
What day next week would that be?
And I have to get a date for you, Mr. Taylor, to see whether my guess is that it would be on Wednesday, which is always a busy day, but I believe that
That's certainly what it sounds like. I mean, I understand. Like,
she can invite you somewhere. She can call you. She can do whatever she wants. But if you go near her or you contact her, you send an empty message.
Yeah.
Son, you're going to jail.
Well, don't say poor man. We don't know what he did yet.
I mean, his haircut speaks volumes. He's a consummate head shaker, though.
Thank you, Nathan. Doing the Lord's work.
Thank you, Nathan. Do you want me to tell you what Chase Nathan sent? And I guarantee you know which one it is when I say it. The one from Denver where the guy carjacks multiple cars and then runs through the snow.
next Wednesday.
Thank you, Nathan.
Mr. Taylor. So it's my preliminary
Up against the
examination
fence.
afternoon, but as you're aware, often those
Yeah.
exams either don't go or something happens to resolve them. So I'm positive we'll be able to get in the hearing
Okay.
before the end of the day on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Burns,
Deputies can give you Raymond
he ain't happy.
Oh, look at his body link. He was wanting to say something.
Yeah, like
he had a bitch on his lips, but he pulled it back. He did the Lord's work and pulled it back. Oh, who we got coming in now?
oh, he looked. Oh, this guy's a this. It's gonna
Stay
be
right here.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you that clear at all.
Shocker.
All right. Can you hear me if I speak up a little?
Yes.
Mr. Doolin, I need to arraign you on one file, 2200.
Lady
I'm sorry,
talking to
220291.
me.
Please stand up in
This
court.
alleges, sir, that on or about January 1st,
Are you real?
2020, one count of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree
Of
upon a
course.
person under the age of 13.
That's hard to believe.
That being 17 years of age or older, you did engage in sexual contact with a person under 13 years of age.
I don't what?
Mr. Doolin, this is a tier 3 offense under the Sex Offender Registration Act.
Whew.
Pursuant to the law 333.5129.
Take a seat.
If this court is found, Mr. Doolin, are you having an issue?
I did a fart, Your Honor.
I'm starting to hear you saying, I didn't touch the girl. I didn't put my hand on her hand at all.
This is not what this is. I'm doing an arraignment. You need to be seated and you need to listen. All right. So this is the time for the mouth closed and the ears open portion. I want you to listen.
Mouth is
You've
open.
been charged with criminal sexual conduct in the second degree. It's alleging that you did engage in sexual contact with a person under 13.
Okay, we heard.
It's important that you listen to this next part because it tells you what the possible penalties are.
Oh, big
It is a
ones.
tier 3 offense under the Michigan Sex Offender Registration Act. They have you charged as a habitual offender, which is a second offense notice. They're alleging that you are convicted of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree prior. This was back on February 4th of 1993. This is a felony that carries up to 15 years and lifetime electronic monitoring upon parole from prison. It also requires
15 years would be fine.
AIDS, STD testing, and DNA to be taken upon arrest. Because it is a second offense notice, you are subject to additional penalties, 1 1/2 times the maximum sentence on the primary offense. The maximum penalty cannot be less than the maximum term for a conviction. Mr. Doolin, do you understand? You don't have to agree. Do you understand that you have been charged with criminal sexual conduct in the second degree?
Right, yes.
And have you had a chance to review your advice of rights, the rights you have available to you? So you have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute. You have the right to have a trial by jury. You have the right to have the assistance of counsel. So you have the right to an attorney. And
Better
you have
than
the right
his,
to
Christy.
address bond today as well, sir. You understand those rights?
Huh?
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Did you have the chance, Mr. Dunham, did you have the chance to speak with Mr. Doolin?
Unfortunately.
I did. He wants to plead not guilty. We just asked you to set a reasonable bond.
All right, I'm going to get this scheduled for a probable cause conference and a preliminary examination.
A pillar of the community, Your Honor.
Right, because you've been charged with a felony. I'm also going to request that an attorney be appointed to you if you cannot afford
That's my
one.
guess.
You may be responsible for all, some, or none of the costs of the public defender based upon your ability to pay. So we'll get you scheduled for the probable cause conference, and you'll have a chance to speak with your attorney and with the prosecutor, Mr. Doolin. In terms of
Mr.
setting
Diddlins
bond,
don't like it.
the court is going to take into consideration the nature of the charge, potential risk to the public, as well as potential risk to the victim alleged in this crime. I also have to consider prior history. I do have here in 1993 conviction for criminal sexual conduct in the second degree. There are also
I like that idea. Show name repo,
crimes
man.
under criminal history as well, Mr. Doolin. For that reason, the court is going to set your bond at $100,000. 10% would need to be posted in order for you to be released.
100,000.
You were able to post that bond, Mr.
Good.
Doolin are not allowed to have any contact with the alleged minor victim in this case. You would also be required to be on electronic monitoring, also known as a tether, where information would be programmed in so that you didn't have any unintended or
How about a
intended
shock collar?
contact with the victim. You would also be required to follow all of the other terms. and
Send him here to
conditions
South Carolina for the firing
of
squad.
not leaving the state of Michigan, Mr. Doolin. We will see you, sir, at your probable cause conference.
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
Your Honor,
And may you rot in hell, sir.
what
Is
is
it
it?
about bonds, Mr. Doolin?
What did you say about the bond? I didn't hear you.
It's $100,000. 10% would need to be posted. If you're able to post that bond, you're not to have contact with the victim. You would have to be on a tether as well, electronic monitoring, and other bond conditions.
Guessing the victim lives at
How
home.
much was that again?
$100,000, 10%. We'll get you the paperwork, Mr. Doolin.
You'll have paperwork. Go.
Very good on the judge.
I don't
No
mean
way in hell he's getting out.
I don't mean to laugh, and it's such a serious thing, but my God, that dude is hilarious.
Well, he's definitely the life of the party. Hey, what's up?
Please tell me you just drove without license or something.
0342. Mr. Adams, this alleges on or about March 24th of this year, one count of operating while intoxicated.
All right, that's better. Thank you. You just start off with such a
Influence of alcohol or having an alcohol content over 0.08 grams or more per
Exactly.
100 milliliters of blood. It alleges through
Is
the
Allison here just to watch?
a bar that you were investigated by police
Yeah.
and found through observation and evidence indications.
she
of
gets off on
intoxication and that your blood
DUI
was
cases.
drawn. If you are convicted of this, Mr. Adams, it's a felony, or I'm sorry, it's a misdemeanor. It carries up to 93 days and or $100 to $500 in fines. Potential for 360 hours of community service.
He looks like he likes the party.
Rehabilitative programs, cost of prosecution, reimbursement to the government for any emergency response, and expenses for prosecution.
Frat
Mr.
boy.
Evans, do you understand that you've been charged with operating while intoxicated?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you have a chance to review your advice of rights, all of the rights that you have available to you, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dunham, having had the chance to speak with Mr. Adams.
Right,
how
I
would you
just
like
had to
proceed this
make that
afternoon?
clear because
Your Honor, after talking about the possibilities, he indicated to me he wishes to take advantage of the offer of impaired driving that the prosecutor has written up. And so I believe that's what he wants to do today.
see that, JJ.
All right. Mr. Adams, you understand that if you wanted to, you could have a hearing on this. You could have a pretrial and a trial. My understanding is that you wish to take advantage of this plea offer. Is that
Ooh.
what you want?
So what's the difference between DUI and impaired driving?
Your Honor.
All right. So you understand you would be
Probably a lot of
guilty
money
being an impaired
difference.
driver. The operating while intoxicated would be dismissed. And I do have on here that at the time of sentencing, they want me to add $76.70 for the blood draw fee. So do you understand that that's the plea offer?
Yes, Your
Has
Honor.
anybody threatened you or harassed you, told you that you had to come in here and plead guilty?
Hello, Eric.
No, Your Honor.
Has anybody promised you anything other than this plea offer?
No, Your Honor.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Good luck with that, Vicky.
I do.
Golly.
You can put your hand down, Mr. Adams. Mr. Dunham, would you mind asking Brock a few questions?
What a way to start a Friday on We Got a Case, huh?
Mr. Adams, it's true that on March
Nowhere but heat from
2022,
yeah, can't go up from there.
you were apparently driving a motor vehicle on Howell Street right here in the city of Hillsdale County, Michigan. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And before the police got involved, you had been consuming some alcoholic liquor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Enough that you believe your ability to drive was impaired, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you wish to take responsibility for that today, correct?
I do.
Your Honor?
Mr. Adams, I believe that what you admitted to does rise to the level of being an impaired driver, so I will find you guilty of that and dismiss the operating while intoxicated. Mr. Adams, I'm going to schedule you out for a date for sentencing, sir. So once you're released from jail, well, let me fix that for you first. I'm going to give you a PR bond. So you're going to be able to leave today. Once you're released from jail, I want you to come up here to the district court so that we can get you your notice of hearing and your pre-sentence packet.
They're a
So
little
there's
low, huh?
Our packet with about 10 pages in there for you to fill out so I can find out some more information about you. In order for me to sentence you appropriately, Mr. Adams, I need a substance abuse assessment.
Looking
So
rough.
we can also hand you the list of individuals
Long night.
local who do substance abuse assessments. And we can just make sure that you get with one of those and get me an assessment prior to your sentencing. That's how I decide whether or not you're going to be in jail, on probation, or whether you need probation, all of those things. So you understand that that's important.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, make sure that while you are out on bond, because I'm giving you a PR bond, this is your opportunity to show that you're not going to have any issues while you're waiting for sentencing. You are not to use, possess, or consume any alcohol, marijuana, or illegal substances. Anything that you don't have a prescription for, you can't take. So make sure that you let us know if you have prescriptions. You will
That's
be
a big
subject
difference.
to random alcohol or drug screens
Oh,
while
wow.
you're on bond as well, which means at any point in time you could be
Oh,
called
yeah,
and we
they're
can have you come in and screen or PBT
really
as well.
long.
You understand that?
I think she's just laying back and they're really catching
Is that a yes, Mr. Adams?
And
Okay.
they're like,
snap.
Get that PR. We will get your bond
they're
process.
right in
then
this
so that you
range,
can,
right?
come
Oh
on
yeah, they're just like
We'll
That's-
get your notice for sentencing and everything, okay?
they're just, hanging out, laying back, taking it easy. They've had a long night at work.
The look on her face, I think she's had better days.
Oh, he's been there a while. He's got the outfit on.
Good afternoon, Mr. Wright. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am. Afternoon.
All right, Mr. Wright, I need to arraign you on one file this afternoon, file 220343. This alleges on or about March 25th of 2022, count 1, operating while intoxicated causing serious injury.
Oh,
It
no.
alleges that you did operate a vehicle upon a highway, Meridian Road, while under the influence of alcoholic liquor, and by the operation
Alcoholic
of that
liquor.
vehicle caused a serious impairment of the body function to Jacob Luby. Specifically, it alleges that you drove on the wrong way on, that you drove on the wrong way on Meridian Road,
No!
and that you were in a car crash. You ended
Oh,
up
no.
having a preliminary test of 0.18 grams per alcohol, and caused Jacob Luby, a passenger in the other vehicle, to suffer 2 broken femurs.
Oh!
Right, it is a felony that carries up
Broke
to
both
5
his legs.
prison and or $1,000 to $5,000
no.
in fines, rehabilitative programs, costs of prosecution, reimbursement to the government for emergency response and expenses for prosecuting the defendant. Vehicle forfeiture is possible as well, and if not forfeited, vehicle immobilization is mandatory. Count 2 is the same charge, operating while intoxicated causing serious injury. This alleges that you did operate a vehicle upon a highway, Meridian Road, while under the influence of alcoholic liquor, and by the operation of that vehicle caused a serious impairment of body function to a Margaret King. Specifically, that you drove on the wrong way on Meridian Road, crashed with
Every time she says,
0.18 and caused Margaret King, the driver of that vehicle, to suffer broken bones in her arm. This
every
is
time she
also a
says
felony that
alcoholic
carries up to
liquor, it
5
needs
years
to be
in
the liquor.
prison and or $1,000 to $5,000 in fines. Rehabilitative programs can be ordered.
She broke. So he was somebody in the other car was broken arm.
Expenses for prosecuting defendant.
Oh my gosh, this guy's
Vehicle
killed.
forfeiture, and
Lucky.
if not forfeited, vehicle immobilization is mandatory.
What if that was a head? Must have been a head on then.
Oh, he's going the wrong way. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you had a chance, sir, to review your advice of rights, all of the rights that you have available to you, so you have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute. You have the right to a trial by jury. You have the right to have the assistance of counsel, so to have an attorney appointed to you.
The
And you
stand
have the right for the
mute
court
thing
to
is
address
interesting.
bond today with you as well, sir. Do you understand all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you've been charged with felonies, Mr. Wright, I'm going to
No, I know.
schedule you for a probable cause conference and a preliminary examination. Those are 2 hearings you have a right to have. I'm also going to request that an attorney be appointed to you if you cannot afford one. You may be responsible for all, some, or none of the costs of the public defender based upon your ability to pay. But I want you to have legal representation throughout the entire case, sir. Mr. Dunham, did you have a chance to speak with Mr. Wright?
I did. He tells me he works in Elkhart, Indiana for Majestic Security.
I'm going to stay on here for just a second. I'll BRB.
Okay.
He certainly would like to get back to work. He would actually consider that in setting his bond. That's it.
All right. All right, well, the court appreciates that you're employed, Mr. Wright. I have to consider a number of things, though, when addressing bond here.
This is gonna be high.
I live in Angola, Indiana. That's not too far here from the state of Michigan, from Hillsdale County. So often, courts will set an out-of-state bond. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to set you with what I would believe to be a reasonable bond, an in-state bond, because I don't think that you're that far away, Mr. Wright. I also have to take into consideration
Mr. Wright did wrong.
history as well, and you do appear to have some issues in the past with substance abuse related offenses out of state. I believe those are in
Suck ass day, you say.
Carolina. And then there was a public intoxication in Indiana as well. I'm more concerned with the drug-related offenses that you have convictions for in North Carolina. Taking those into consideration as well as what you've been charged with, I have to decide what type of a risk you pose to the public, Mr. Wright. For that reason, the court is going to set count 1 at $25,000, 10%, and count 2 at $25,000, 10%. That brings your total to $50,000. 10% would need to be posted in order for you to be released. If you are able to post that bond, Mr. Wright, you are not to use, possess, or consume any alcohol, marijuana, or certainly any
Put
illegal
your hand down,
substance.
Mr. Wright.
You would also be required to be on a mandatory scram unit, which is a portable device meant to check your breath, your body for alcohol content. You would also be subject to random oral or urine drug screening as well through the court while you're out on that bond if you are able to post that. Mr. Wright, we'll get you scheduled for your probable cause conference, sir. Do you have a question regarding bond, Mr. Wright?
Yeah, I got a question about the public intoxication. I don't have I never got that charge in Indiana. And I never got a drug charge in North Carolina either.
Mr. Wright, all I have to go off of is the criminal histories that were provided to me on you for both of those states. So you can bring that information up to your attorney. It's one of many things that I address in terms of what I would set your bond at, Mr. Wright. For now, the court's going to make the
He's
determination
habitual, so I mean, you got to really go with that.
that they presently set it. Good luck to you, Mr. Wright. We'll see you at your probable cause conference.
Thank you.
If you guys have not yet liked this video, please help us out. It means the world to us. And if you're over on Facebook, share it out.
Ms. Landers.
Tell a friend.
Mr. Dunham, Ms. Landers is present in person. Did you have a chance to speak with her? You can have a seat.
Yeah, I did.
I just wanted to make sure. All right, Ms. Landers, I need to arraign you on one file today, file 211430. This is a one-count felony complaint that alleges on or about 5/25 of 2021, so almost a year ago, one count of controlled substance possession of methamphetamine or ecstasy. It alleges that you did knowingly
somebody called it.
methamphetamine, that you were stopped by police and found to possess methamphetamine in your purse within your motor vehicle. If you were convicted of this, Ms. Landers, it's a felony that carries up to 10 years in prison and or $15,000 in fines. It also requires that unless sentenced to more than 1 year in prison, the court shall impose license sanctions. Ms. Landers, do you understand first what the charge is that you've been accused of? And have you had a chance to review your advice of rights, all of the rights that you have available to you?
Yes.
All right, so you understand you have the right to plead guilty, not guilty, stand mute, you have the right to a jury trial, all that good stuff. All right. Ms. Landers, what the court's going to do, I'm going to schedule this for a probable cause conference and a preliminary examination. So you have a right to both those hearings. I'm also going to appoint an attorney to you. So if you can't afford one, that way you have legal representation throughout the case. There'll be a financial form, which I think you filled out. I see that right here. You may be responsible for all, some, or none of the costs of the public defender. It's based upon your ability to pay. You understand? All right, Mr. Dunham, having had the chance to speak with Ms. Landers, is there anything else that you would like to say on her behalf?
Yes, Your Honor. She
Really?
tells me she has an appointment with Kim Berger on Monday. I'm assuming that's about hiring her. She says she's been doing very well, job-wise, home-wise, every way, since this date that says this charge came up last year. She heard about this warrant for her and she came and turned herself in. She didn't know anything about it, she says, until then. So she heard about it recently. So she would certainly ask you to let her stay out of jail so she can keep working. Go see Miss Berger next Monday and go from there. Thank you.
Do you think this is Knox's Allison?
Melissa, is there anything else that you want to add?
No, ma'am.
All right. You did turn yourself in. That for me means that you aren't at any risk of absconding or taking off on me before the probable cause conference. I have no reason to believe that you're not going to come to that. And this was back in 2021 as well. So I take into consideration the amount of time that has passed as well. I want you to continue.
That's who is in trouble for the methamphetamine.
I saw that.
The public.
Whoever it was definitely called it, which
I think it was JG did.
Yeah, good job on that. Sorry, I did say bye to Emily's going to the beach for the weekend. So, say goodbye. And again, now here she is needing to get back in for the fourth time now.
I'm going to push on colors for drug screens while you're on your bond. So they'll give you a color. You'll have to call in, and they would have you come in, and you would screen. And that's so that
That's her right there in the car.
you're out on bond here with the court.
Did they give you the paperwork that, because I'm already kind of doing that at Recovery Services. I've been in there. But I don't mind still doing more.
Okay, I can have you speak if you don't mind waiting out in the lobby here for just a little bit, because I have a couple of hearings after you. I can have Lori come and
So
chat.
we're not even talking to her. We're talking to someone else.
It may. If you're already doing some type of drug screening.
Oh, we're not even talking to Allison?
We have allowed
No.
Okay, so that's going to be the other main requirement.
Someone we came to see in court was who she was talking to.
Of your bond, okay? Are you interested at all at this point in time if I were to have
Mind
the,
blown, huh? Who else we got?
on this
We got happening.
So it's my
That-
understanding
Norbert.
that Ms. Dubega stands prepared to enter a plea to possession of methamphetamine, and upon the court's acceptance of that. plea, this case will be
Methamphetamine.
dismissed for remaining misdemeanors.
Did you say
All right.
methamphetamine?
Ma'am, is that what you want to do here today?
Yes.
All right. I need
Right.
to ask
They need
you
another
questions.
camera over there.
You
Damn it,
understand
Rachel.
if you enter this plea today, you'll be giving up your right to a trial by jury where the state would have to show beyond a reasonable doubt that you committed these crimes?
Yes.
At that trial, you'd have a right to call witnesses, cross-examine witnesses, and you could testify in your own defense, although you could not be compelled to do so. You understand that?
Yes.
By entering a plea, you're severely limiting your appeal rights. Is that clear to you?
Look at that face she's making.
I'm sorry, say that again?
By entering a plea, you're limiting your appeal rights. You understand that?
Oh, yes, yes.
Did you
Because
say
this is a
appeal?
felony, at a future
I'd
point,
love
we'll
to
have a
take appeal
sentencing,
right
the
now.
pre-sentence report will be prepared. The attorneys will make suggestions for your sentence. I just need you to understand, I'm not bound to follow the suggestions of the attorneys. Understand?
Is Rachel laying like flat on her back and like
Any
hanging up
threats or
the side of
promises
the bed?
been made that you feel are causing you to want to enter a plea against your will here today?
She's defying gravity.
Okay, so.
That was a child, I think.
I thought that was
level
your wife
5
walking in the
drug
room
felony,
again.
Maximum penalty.
Last time
42
she came
months
in and started
Department of
talking, I thought there was a
Corrections to as
kid
low as 10
somewhere. I was like,
months.
where's that kid at?
Much of it's presumptive
She gets excited
probation,
when she finds the
probation
elephant.
18 months or less, post-release
5.
12 months, good time 20%, could be a fine of up to $100,000 or both. With regard to the allegation, ma'am, what is your plea?
Guilty.
Okay.
Guilty.
Court
She
notes
got
the
a baby
guilty
just
plea
off camera.
accepts it in this matter, pre-sentence report to be prepared.
Perma sneeze.
Let's get you a sentencing date.
May 27th.
May 27th, 11 a.m. And who's gonna? Oh, Jay.
Who's gonna take
So
care of your
Ms.
baby?
Bauhay will do your.
Get back to the
pre-sentence
case. What
report.
can we please?
Do you
Maybe.
have a place you can write down her number?
Just
Just a second. I have it written down on my baby's hand.
Let me get a magic marker and write it on its arm.
Well, we
Hope
know
it's not
what's
too long.
happening with Rachel. Let's go over to some first appearances here with Judge Taylor.
Drew Niner.
And again, I apologize for that.
No. It's not a problem. But we'll go ahead and handle Mr. Mitchell's case while they're doing that.
Triple team in here today.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Mitchell.
And I swear Niner's hair looks not red at all again today now.
Yeah, he washed it out.
Regrets, your attorney's gone over that charge with you. I'm now going to hear from them and from the state as far as their positions on your bond.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Mitchell is from Georgia. He graduated high school here before going to Florida A&M University for 2 years, where he studied music and business.
Oh.
He currently lives with his girlfriend and the mother of his children, Jamikia, as well as his 6-month-old son, Ty Carter Mitchell.
Don't think she
and his
pronounced that right.
12-year-old stepdaughter, Mariah Harrell. He and his girlfriend and their children are currently living in a hotel.
Well,
His
Twitch
girlfriend
sucks
is unable to work because she has to care for the kids. So
Don't know what to
Mr.
say.
Mitchell is the sole provider, and they will not be able to afford to stay in that hotel unless Mr. Mitchell is able to work. So it is absolutely necessary that he's able to get out of jail to be able to work and keep his family with a roof over their head and food to eat.
I'm sorry, where did you say he was working?
He works a stable job as a professional mover, which he's done for 12 years.
He's
told
a
me that
mover and a
he's
shaker.
really supportive. He knows the situation and that he is welcoming Mr. Mitchell back to that job as soon as he's released. My understanding from the criminal history provided by the state is that he has had no violent charges in several years. I believe that Mr. Mitchell will show up to court. He just needs to be out to care for his family. Unfortunately, due to the current situation financially, I do not believe that Mr. Mitchell is going to be able to afford much in the way of bond at all, and certainly not the state's recommended $7,000. We are requesting a UJR, Mr.
It's-
Mitchell.
It's not eligible for UJR.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Can
I
you
checked the
define
statute
hotel?
that
I'm guessing more
UJR
motel.
does.
I'm saying
Well, then we will just be requesting.
it's a
as
mom
low
and pop
as possible.
motel.
He does.
I thought if
not
it was
even
criminal
chain.
violence, I may be wrong. I'm always open to being wrong.
That's
I
how much.
thought it was- I thought
That's
if
how
it
much
was
bond he can afford.
charge allegation.
Just saying.
Okay, that could be my mistake, Your Honor. I can check on that, but regardless, Mr. Mitchell needs as low a bond as possible, and he does have a stable address where he can receive mail at his aunt's house, so he will be able to get court notices regardless of his current living situation.
Oh.
He's a mover, so he's going to be going in and out of state constantly.
All right, Ms. Fortson?
Judge, Mr. Mitchell has 18 cycles.
Oh, she forgot
He
to
has
mention
several probation violations, 2021, 2018. He has an FTA in 2016. He has a battery in 2015. And then, further back in his history,
It's not going well.
there are just the other charges.
$5
Due to
bond.
the circumstances here, Judge, he was advised, allegedly, based on the warrant, advised not to come to the property even before he arrived, and he still came, and problems definitely ensued after that. The state is recommending a $7,000 bond and a stay away in this instance.
Creed
All right,
problems
well,
ensued.
even if I do have the discretion for a UJR, I don't find, given his criminal history and the facts and circumstances of this case, that a UJR is appropriate. So I will set bond in the amount of $5,000, and I will set a stay away order. You'd have no contact with your sister. Do you understand that?
Oh, damn. Sister.
All right. And so your total bond will be 5,000. And we will
She
reserve
dropped
his
it down
right
to
to
5.
probable cause.
Thank you, Judge.
Lucky for that. Nah.
And Miss Baylor, hang on just a second. It looks like the wrong things got checked there.
Can we let David talk? I mean,
All right,
George,
I think
excuse
it should be correct for you now.
Yes, everything's fine.
Good point,
All
love.
right, good, thank you. All right, then.
All right. Well, we got a second. What do you got?
We're in Asiago, Chile.
I was trying to.
Oh,
let you
I'm
guys
sorry. I think I
know,
read that
I don't
wrong.
have the 10%. I've got $50 to my name. That's it, and it's in my account.
$500 bond. You'll be
bank
fine.
account. I got no.
It's in a
access
bank
to it.
account under someone else's name.
She's got all of her. She's got the money and our cards.
Oh, we're crying.
I do have a place to stay. My lifelong friend Jay would let me stay at his place, so I have.
Silent
somewhere to
Bob's
go.
not staying
I
there.
would like to come home, not like home. Like I would like to get out.
She
new
took
house
the
so I
gold
can get back
mine.
to work
I got the
ASAP.
shaft.
Sir. Very, very pleased, sir.
Very, very
Okay,
pleased.
I'm
Just-
not a runner.
I'm sorry.
Not a runner.
Mr.
I have a
Fenton,
couple things to add when he's finished.
All right. think
I'm not a runner, and I show up to all of my court hearings.
They do
And
in
I
India.
swear
Mikey
to abide by all my
subscribed to a
guidelines.
bunch.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Fenton, did you want to add something?
Yes, thank you. Two things. One, there were numerous failures to comply with judgments on the Secretary of State record, as well as an old failure to appear. But more importantly, it's a serious case. I just was skimming through the police report. Victim is alleged to have been beaten and choked pretty badly by the defendant, and she had 2 black eyes, redness on her neck, and marks on her arm. EMS was called. So this is more about protecting public safety than it is being a flight risk.
All right.
I
Mr.
won't
Brown,
be
did you
doing no
want
more
to add
drinking.
I
No,
won't be
do
doing
not
no
say
fighting.
anything, please, Mr. McLaughlin.
Mr. Brown, did you want to add anything?
No, Your Honor.
Judge, how about a
All
hug?
right, sir, who are you counseling with?
Jeanette Sayer, she's a seer. I think I'm pronouncing it right.
She's a real
What do
bitch.
you mean? How long have you been counseling with her?
Just about a year now.
But I can't say her name right.
I've been doing counseling for about a year, but man, really 2 years. Ever since I started to come home from prison, she was my counselor.
Okay, so it was as a condition of your parole that you were counseling with her?
Yeah, and I continued my counseling after parole, sir.
It's going to be my next question.
oh,
Have you
what's her
counseled
name?
with her since you were released from probation?
Yes, I was just talking with her the other day. We meet Thursdays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and every other Thursday or Friday, I'll come in and I'll meet in person with her.
Make sure
But
I
I go
clean the
twice a
car
week.
out when she asked me to.
And are you employed?
I am.
Go ahead.
Okay, where are you employed?
Story Roofing.
Oh, roofing, huh?
When was the last time you worked with Story Roofing?
I had the last 2 days off because of weather.
Okay.
So I
How much
worked
do you
Monday
make?
and Tuesday.
How much do you make with them?
You got today off too, I'm pretty sure.
Good point.
My weeks have been short because of counseling and not being able to get around. I average about 200 to 300 a week. And it kind of varies, especially with the weather right now, but summer coming around and I'm up for a raise. So
Hurricane
I'll
season's
be able
coming.
to get more hours and make more money.
Here's the situation. I don't really have any significant record that you did not appear. But on the other hand, as Mr. Fenton stated, there is significant alleged injuries. I don't know what, and this is not the time to say what did or did not happen. And so my concern is how she would react as I
A little
skim-
old to be beating
well,
on people.
how she would react if you were released. Because I don't know that you would not have contact with her directly or indirectly, or even just the fact that you were released, the impact that would have on her. Well, here's what I'm going to do on this. As I said, I have appointed an attorney for you.
Got something over here with Paw Paw going on. This girl,
she looks upset.
And like I said, I wish there were a way to go straight from the jail, but apparently there isn't.
And then how long do you anticipate she will be at a psychiatric treatment facility?
I'll let Ms. Young take that question.
Ms. Young, go ahead.
Young Pratt.
Facilities are about 30 days. The problem with Miss Mullins, well, the issue with Miss Mullins is the medication stability. She needs to be, it takes psychiatric medications about 2 weeks to really know whether they're going to work or not. And she's been in kind of a mess with her meds for a while. So we're anticipating 30 days. And while that's happening, I'm working together with the Community Integrated Health System and with some other third parties to have a plan for her when she does get out from the inpatient facility. The only other wrinkle that I see, Your Honor, is sometimes what the hospitals will do is admit the patient and then get them a bed at the earliest available date. It's a lot like surgery where you go in and have a broken leg and they get you in the
look at
earliest
Papa's
opportunity
face. He
that
just
they
had a
can.
stroke.
So my furlough order actually reads that she needs to be back by 9 p.m. tonight.
He's
The
reading
furlough
that
ends at
his
1
belt
p.m.
buckle he just ordered is going to
She'll
be on
be
back
picked up
order.
from the jail, taken to St. Pete's, and then if they discharge her, then she will come right back to the jail. And if they admit her, then we will present that paperwork to Mr. Walker. And I would honestly like to
You did
review
that
this
or
on Monday, just because
mental issue.
we don't know what's going to happen. And I've never done this before, but it is the only way that we could figure it out. They absolutely do not allow transport from a jail to a mental health facility.
Hi, Diamond Nine.
And then what do you anticipate will be her plan, assuming that she successfully completes this first phase?
Okay.
The main issue for her is going to be housing. I think that so far we've got a lot of the mental health stuff kind of covered. I'm contracting with a party to.
I have a place to live now.
Ms.
I have
Mullins,
an
be quiet. Ms. Mullins,
I'm sorry.
He's got a bookshelf
I
though.
haven't talked to my attorney in a long
Ms.
time.
Mullins, I want you to stop interrupting people. you stand there and be quiet until someone asks you a question.
I'm guessing not
ahead.
mental. I think it is
So,
a little more,
if
maybe
she has
drugs.
housing, that was going to be the
If he's
biggest
being,
hurdle.
Pawpaw's being that much of a dick.
Be able to provide her actual
Hey, John.
more consistent.
Keep your meth mouth shut.
Because I didn't realize it, and I don't think that Mr. Walker did either. But there are sentencing alternative, and one of them is that unlike True Blood, where a person gets
True Blood. That was on HBO, right?
person
Yeah, well, we referenced
follow
them
them
that.
around and make sure they get to appointments and stuff like that. They don't have that in the mental health sentencing alternative.
That's one of the
They just
greatest
go through
videos of all time.
community integrated which doesn't have a support program.
Remember when the old lady
I'm
fell?
bringing
She falls.
resources in the community together to make sure that we have her. We have better tabs on her than we did last time.
So
On and off.
it seems like it would be fair to say that you believe her chances of being successful in the mental health
Oh my God.
sentencing alternative program will be much better if she completes phase 1 and then moves into phase 2 as you are anticipating it to happen. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Yeah. Right now, she is just not stable.
Yeah.
And Your Honor, I had a chat with Mr. Festi. He's familiar. Apparently, the mental health sentencing alternative was put together with a legislator from Pierce County. And, I think one of the flaws in it, and something that if we're going to do it in the future, we can patch perhaps using this as a model, is they need to go somewhere for a sort of phase 1 treatment that doesn't exist in the alternative as it is.
All right. Well, first of all, I appreciate that the two of you, and it sounds like particularly
She wears
Ms.
her
Young, have
mask
done
like
some
Mikey on a
effort
Disney bus.
to find
Yes.
some alternative to simply sending her off to a correctional facility. I have never believed that was the best option that we had for.
I think they're trying to give her help, but it makes sense. You don't go. They don't
Given the fact
Take
allow
that she
inmates.
really has
Yeah, take you
mental
straight
health
from jail
issues
to
that if
treatment.
They go untreated are going to cause her to become.
Thank you,
entrenched in the
Psycho. Not please
criminal
leave a like
justice
on your
system.
way out.
Good to see you, bud.
Appreciate you.
So.
Great
is
to
the
see you.
first step
Happy
then,
weekend
Mr.
and all.
Walker, the presentation of a furlough order on for some particular date
Today.
today.
Yeah,
All
she's
right.
going to be picked up.
Oh,
She's going to be picked
okay.
up from the jail. And Miss Young, she's going to be
107
picked up
people
at 1.
here with us on a
1:30.
Friday afternoon.
1:30. Okay, so yeah,
Okay.
Miss Young, if you can email me that order.
It's
Did
not
you
your
already
first
do that
time
already?
here.
I thought that I did, but I can certainly do it
Second
again.
it.
All right. And
Please
I
like
will
this
present it
video.
to you.
Like
and
this.
She will
Take your
right,
meds,
And she
Psycho.
will. She'll be furloughed to
So
this
you're having a
rental
bad
transport
day.
company, and she's going to be
You're
hanging
among
out
friends.
basically in
Poor
Providence, St. Peter all day, and then we'll review it on Monday. If she's admitted, we'll set another review date at about the time that we think that she'll be released. And if she's not admitted, we're just going to have to ask you for another furlough.
Ms. Young, is Ms. Mullins aware of the plan that has been put into place?
She's been aware of the plan for a long time. The way that it happens, she may not be quite aware of, but I was actually able to arrange with the transportation company, a person that she knows.
Hi, Lady Fang.
And so I think it will go much better for her because part of her mental illness is that she is paranoid and gets really suspicious of people that she doesn't know. And so I was able to work that out.
All right. All right. Well, she's clearly very emotional right now. So, but I will sign the order when it's presented.
Yeah, and I found the email you sent me, Miss Young, about the changes you made to the order, but there was nothing attached to it. So if you could email me that order, I'll submit it.
Will do. Take me just a minute.
Thank you. That's all for today.
Thank you.
That was confusing. So is she a druggie or got a lot of
Ready to proceed in State versus Michael.
issues?
Are we waiting
Michael,
for
the
Mr.
legend?
Morton to be
Michael
brought
who?
up in court?
Horse?
Yes, Your Honor, he's not here yet.
Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Oh, we're back with Norbert again?
Yeah.
Why?
We can file a motion, obviously, Your Honor.
Woman
but
here
the
with half a face.
Specific objection was to the possession of methamphetamine, the federal conviction for that.
I'm hoping she
She would
comes back
acknowledge the
because
other
she
one.
hasn't been seen
This-
yet.
this
The
prison that was
user?
a felony.
No, she was over on
There are a
the
couple
other
of
side.
diversions noted on there, and that's what I think Alex was looking at.
Like the Phantom of the
It's not
Opera.
very clear. It was the possession of methamphetamine conviction that she's actually objecting
Methamphetamine.
to.
Fetamin.
So that
Flintstones.
that's entry
Fetamin.
number 3 is the possession of methamphetamine.
And
Entry
so that-
score, whatever noted as diversions.
That
Somebody
would make it.
correct him, please.
Criminal history score, for sure.
He's a
since
lawyer,
it's
Creed.
felony,
That's what he's talking about.
and that, because that's 2 felonies, then, as
God,
opposed to
I've
just
got to keep an eye out for her
one.
now. She's, I mean, literally half a face.
And if she needs to meet with somebody from
All right. So
court
keep an
services,
eye
she's
and
now,
we'll
she was
jump in
dropped
any
off
time.
earlier here at our office, and her friend
She's like a
left
damaged
town,
crash
and hopefully
test
we'll be picking her
dummy.
back up later.
Let's,
She indicated she's had a bit of a hard time getting up here. She thought this was in
See
person
Mr.
today.
Simpson.
All right. I got you.
No.
Mr. Drukas?
We had a
Hey,
prayer center.
Somebody try exclamation point Simpson in the chat on the main channel. See if it works.
Or I'm in receipt of pictures
Creed.
of the unit.
What the
that's
hell's going with Matthew in
for
far
the
left corner?
Dealing of possessions.
I got pictures on my telephone.
Okay, I guess the question I have is, does he have things still in the unit that he needs to get out? And when can we get back possession?
When I went down, only thing down, maybe something in the basement. I had a little weight set. His grandson took care of me for
Got
2
my
years.
lift on.
I gave the weight set to his grandson. The whole upstairs. is
Good deal.
completely empty.
See if that will
From-
take you
from all
to it
the
or not.
bedroom to kitchen, everything. The garage is completely empty.
So,
Okay.
so possession is not at issue.
So you don't have a problem with them? Well, they took
There's
possession.
Kayla, the life of the party.
wrongfully, but
Then
they
try
took it
exclamation point F pod.
by agreement. That
Exclamation
they may not
point F pod.
communicate to you. So, Mr. Morris, is there anything in
I
that
see
unit that you
Zoom
want?
user is wearing her I
no.
love We Gotta
Okay.
Chase shirt on.
Yeah.
You can find that in our
Mr.
merch
West.
store. Exclamation point merch.
Right. I had some stuff in a shed behind the house, but it was always flooded during the winter time. And I couldn't
What?
get back there because of the snow. and
Great place to
house
store
was
things
big.
in.
So it's
I
always-
kept only my most
There,
precious
always
items in
shed.
there, Your Honor.
So is there stuff in the shed that you want?
It stayed
Yeah, I don't
flooded.
get them out of the shed.
Nice.
All
Night but's
as to
working.
the primary residence, do
First time
that.
for everything.
Council, maybe you can contact Mr. Morris and try to figure out how you can get the things.
He's
out of the
blind,
shed
right?
as the primary resident.
That's something. I don't know. I'm kind of.
Full representation
Do
from
we-
AAA.
Do we need it?
I don't know what's
Are we
going on.
able
It's
to
kind of scary though.
postpone until we can get legal representation from AAA?
Well, you can get legal representation, or we can put you into a room so you can speak with a lawyer right now.
Earlier today, Edward Drukas put us in a room and was trying to talk to Edric by himself without representation.
And he's permitted to do that.
Okay.
This is not a criminal proceeding. He's not, I've
Okay,
known Mr. Drukas for a long time. He's not trying to run any angles or try to do anything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you want to speak to an attorney at this point? Because I'm
Trying
not
to tell
gonna
on somebody.
out for much longer.
Your Honor, can I ask you a question? If they take the stuff out of the shed, can we just close it? Close it.
Close it.
Burn it down, Your Honor.
I mean, I'm saying-
Can I put an insurance claim in on it?
What are they suing us for today?
Stuff in the house?
There's a lease agreement that was for 3 years that
No.
was signed by the defendant, so
We
there's,
have a lease agreement, and the lease agreement that was provided to the.
Uh-oh.
court
Oh,
was
coming in
for-
hot.
Somebody see this right here? This is
Well,
all.
hold on.
That's not how court works,
I
right?
submit this into evidence, Your Honor.
How long is it going to take you to get attorneys? Because I'm not going to go through all of this right now.
We're in contact with AAA right now, but it will probably take us about a month to obtain legal representation.
Not waiting that long. You can have 2 weeks, or I can put you into a room with legal services to speak to them.
2 weeks, the 22nd is fine of April, sir?
No, it would be the 8th of
Why are they
April.
so far back from the
Yeah,
camera?
we will attempt to get representation by then, we will.
Yes. Thank you so much. This is my first time going through this. I never been through this before, Your Honor.
All right. I'll adjourn this matter April 8th, 2022, 9 a.m.
Are we going to talk to Red Skull over there in a minute, or
Thank you.
what?
And with regard to that, just briefly, my contact information is on the complaint. So if you want to contact me about trying to get into the shed, and my understanding is that we can take
Those
possession of
eyelashes.
primary residence. We will not.
Tammy Faye Baker-esque.
All right. Thank you. Arbor Manor Townhomes versus Kayla Cadell.
That's a long one, isn't it?
I'm here.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Her eyelashes are as long as
Standing for Mr. Hughes.
that
At
least.
least. Yeah.
All right. This is a SARE application. We're here after the stay.
Oh, Kayla coming in with the sex sales.
Your Honor, this case is with SOS. I have a note from them that this case was denied.
No.
But it was,
Poor
I think
dude.
it was denied under the old SARA
Oh.
rule. So it may be eligible if they reapply.
He had to go smoke a cigarette real quick.
You
Put
understand
his
that?
oxygen back.
Oh,
in.
you gotta put his oxygen back in?
Gotta get a
I
couple
actually gave
puffs.
up on that and got a better job and paid it. So I'm at 0
Speaking of which,
right now.
you want to stay with Cedric for a
We
minute?
can
Or?
jump over here to mine real quick. We
All
got
right,
a
what
few
you
people
got?
coming
Who you
in.
got?
We're seeing some people. coming in.
Lottery is COVID precautions. We have to put them away and then go get her out.
What's your wife doing there? What's
You want me to-
She's working as a bailiff
to-
now?
Yeah.
Emily, the bailiff. Are you kidding me? You son of a... Put me back on Simpson, I guess. COVID protocols done knock my internet feed out with them.
I'm going to go to April 8th, 2022, but defendant indicates that March was paid. So if it was paid before then, the case should be dismissed. I don't want to continue into April, only putting it over to that day.
I know I keep going back to
you.
Keep going back.
What
to
happened to Zoom user?
Across the case of Forest Knoll Townhomes versus Star Mason.
Oh, there she is.
Again, Mark Wasbury for plaintiff, Your Honor.
Well, there's lots of court
Star
going on.
Mason.
If you want to.
Yeah, I wanted to
Okay,
get
there
this
you
up.
Okay.
Oh,
I don't want to say anything. I just want to show
Uh-huh.
this.
It says
Okay.
you have 11 months Department of Corrections. It's suspended. You're placed on a 12-month probation with court services.
Want to stay here for a second with Norbert?
Sure.
Your Miss Bauhay will work with
Why
you
not?
as your court service officer.
I need to go before I say something.
Court costs are $193. There's a $200 DNA database fee, $120 correction supervision fee, $45.
She's got her
booking fee.
OnlyFans right
This
after we're
is
done
SB
here.
123 assessment fee, and I'll direct that you reimburse for bids fees and attorney's fees. But Ms. Bauhay will work with you to set up a payment plan of some type that works with you. You've met with her, so do you know how to
Ye-
call her?
Yes, I still have her phone number.
Okay, so you need to call her because now she's gonna be your supervising officer and she'll get you
Okay.
set up. And she may even be able to assist you if you desire to.
I will drop
transfer your
all the charges
probation
against
to, say,
Shelby right
Douglas
now.
County,
Okay.
out of convenience to you. You're given
Yeah.
credit for 2 days in the county jail against your sentence. You do have 14 days to appeal the sentence and judgment of this court. You may be able to expunge this or other matters at a future point in time once you complete all your obligations and wait at the statutory time frame. This is your first felony conviction. So I might
Oh,
remind
wow.
you that you forfeited your federal firearms rights. So if that's important to you, you just need to be mindful of it. And
No voting.
for the time period, your Kansas rights also right now. So with that, get a hold of Ms. Bauhay, and like your counsel said, we probably won't see you again.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're free to exit the call.
Thank you.
Okay.
She will be missed.
All right, clean up.
Clean up
Okay, let
after
me go
this.
Down here so I can
Ooh,
keep
things
track of
went
this.
crazy.
Mr. Green is he's had some problems, right? So,
Judge, we've tried to call him twice this morning while we were on Zoom and noticed he wasn't on, and we get a busy signal.
is he the one that was here last time with his mother?
I don't think so. He was on a
That-
preliminary
who
hearing
is
where he
that?
was
There's,
at the truck stop.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
yeah, okay,
Evaluation, the gentleman with,
yeah.
not
That's what I
him.
was thinking of. Okay, well, I mean, I'll just have to, I'll do note a bench warrant for Mr. Green, but see.
Uh-oh. Bench warrant for Green. Bench warrant for
See if
Green.
you can get a hold of him. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Anton Mills.
Judge, pretrial conference.
We're just gonna start handing out warrants.
I think Jason spoke to him yesterday. Oh, there's that note. We called him while he was on, while we were on here, and the mailbox was full.
Yeah, staff called him during the call, Your Honor. We noticed he wasn't on. No answer. Voicemail was full. But I did have a conference with him yesterday.
Well,
All right, guys, we're going to jump from this courtroom since they're just going to be handing out bench warrants. So everybody didn't show up today. We're going to check this out over here. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't already done so. I'd appreciate that right now. But yeah, let's go see the world's oldest attorney.
As you properly point out, that argument was more well developed by Mr. Visser in that reply. I'm open if you reply. I'm open if you want me to just set a briefing schedule, I will, or if you want to just leave it to me to issue an order if I
Have
find it.
no idea what they're doing over here, by the way.
Your gentleman, Mr. Middleton.
You're muted, Mr. Middleton. You had one job.
Oh, you're muted, Mr. Middleton.
My apologies, Your Honor. If I would maybe potentially just inquire of Mr. Visser, you know, in one of our other matters, you suggested that perhaps you may not wish to continue pursuing those constitutional arguments if relief were to be necessary, practicable under the statute. So
I understand,
to some
Flusha.
extent, I think that question depends on the extent to which opposing counsel or claimants wish to truly pursue those issues or whether they wish to just obtain the relief available from 78T.
Mr. Visser.
At this point, as opposed to the other matter, which was in Van Buren County, in which the treasurer
Visser.
indicated that
You're boring me, Mr. Visser.
they were not contesting the timeliness or other issues. I don't have any of those responses in this file, so I have a much
Maybe.
less to go on to address that question in this case than I did in the Van Buren County case.
Mr.
That dude on the phone is
where
Phil
does that
Hendry.
leave you?
I thought.
Sounded like
Can-
one of his voices.
Let me
didn't it?
just say this. I mean, if you folks really want it teed up more fully with briefs, but I haven't even reached the threshold issue, whether or not I'm going to consider this issue of constitutionality as it was raised in the context of this particular motion filing in the back and forth.
Oh,
So
baby.
if you want to put the effort in to get that to me,
Just real quick, just what's happening over to Judge Kim's.
I
just love
was
those
looking originally
full
to
screen
the
and just
main argument under the statute, but folks, I don't want to create work for you, but I don't want to shortchange you if you're worried about reserving certain matters for appellate
All right,
purposes.
Creed, I've got something.
I
I'm
was
gonna
gonna put something up right there.
stop this because I have got. I forgot today was Friday, which means one thing:
Harassment court.
harassment court.
Oh, we're probably gonna be here for the next hour. By the way, we are into the end of the first hour. Appreciate you guys being here. We got a case over 100 of you, minus Psycho Nut today though. He's off his meds.
He felt like today was not the best day for him to
Yeah.
be here.
Please like, subscribe. We do this 5 days a week. Chasing the cases 5 days a week. We start every day at 1 p.m. East. We bounce around until we find something.
Oh yeah, I got it here.
Okay, good.
I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
And I like hot air balloons, I guess.
Would the parties be available on this coming next Thursday? Would that
FYI, this judge is even lower than Judge Middleton.
Have any
Not
idea
our fault.
what-
Everything's
what
cranked
time
up.
I work
Mostly.
on Thursdays from
Listen,
2 p.m. to 1 a.m.
It'd be 9 o'clock in the morning, and there, would that work for you?
Let me see. I am
And
not
might have a little bit of
available.
wiggle room in the morning. I'm sorry, say again, Ms. Goldberg.
Sorry, I'm not available next Thursday.
How about the next Friday?
Sorry.
Friday will be
Go
easier.
ahead. Show you how to do that again. Or
Would that work for?
I click it and it won't
just
go away.
looking at the
now it's
dates.
lower. You know.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's the first.
The second,
I'm
or,
the-
the first, sorry. That'll work. Yes, that'll work.
Click.
So the
We'll set it.
situation is that goes to
on the-
work at 1:15.
Okay, we'll be done by 1:15.
Okay, thank you.
And
It's
I will.
amazing. We have a
I will
YouTube
try
channel,
to
you know.
Call you sooner in the docket, just because I know that.
I didn't say we knew what we were
there won't
doing.
be any issues
Right.
like this. It's all
Never
it'll all
once
be
did I say
resolved by
that.
then, and we can just go ahead and get into the meat of it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, April 1st at 9 o'clock. We'll email you each.
Is there any way Jonathan isn't the one that's
just
in
a story
trouble?
notice that has a date on there. And just to confirm it, I'm guessing
Go
there isn't
after
anything else to
the
submit because there's so
hatchet
much
dude.
submitted already. But just to confirm, is there anything else anybody plans on sending in or having the court?
What
look
should
at?
I wear to
I
court?
might have
today?
a response back. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, but if I do, I will send.
Hold
I guess I
inside.
just bring it back to court. Is that correct?
It's related to Ashley's
So
husband.
why don't we do this? So we just emailed that to you.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't want to make this, I don't want to drag it out forever. I don't think I
Yeah.
Hot
already want
coffee.
that. So would any response you have, I'll just say you can. So both parties got to submit materials. Any response to the other party materials at this point, you can just provide on the record. So you can provide testimony. If you have witnesses, you can bring witnesses in. My only concern is I don't want to have our like documents going back and forth forever, and then
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
so if that being said, though, if there is some kind of documentary
Oh,
evidence,
somebody just walked into their house.
I don't know what it would be, but if there is something, you can go ahead and send it in. Just do it as soon as you can, and then if you could, yeah, just
Is
send
there
it
any
to
way
us.
you can
and
read
we'll-
some dirty text messages
Depending on the
today?
length of it, maybe we can just send it to the other party.
Really like that.
Okay.
I would just
It's
say.
true.
send it
Isn't
to
it
each other
funny?
and
This
stuff
is the
like that.
judge that has said the most
Yeah.
grotesque bad things
Could I
on our
reply?
channel.
Could I send it back to
Worse than anything we've ever
to
said.
the address that I got the
Million
email
times
from?
worse.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
do that. Yeah. And like I said, if it's just something you can just talk about, that's fine too. That's why we have the hearing. So,
Doorbell.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you.
okay.
we're so good
Any
together.
questions from either party about that?
Mm.
Okay, I think everybody has everything
All
so
right.
far.
So they'll
we'll talk
move
to
these
April
people out
1st at
and they'll
9
move in
o'clock.
another harassment case.
And like I said, I'll try to call it sooner so you're not waiting too long. And hopefully we're just ready to go.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks for your
Thank you.
patience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll get rid of these people, and we'll actually get to listen to the case, perhaps. These two aren't going to ever figure out how to leave. They're going to be. There we go. Whew. I didn't think they were going to figure it out.
Yeah.
They had a second. While you have a second, please take it to like this video.
We'll be right back to harassment court as soon as he.
As soon as somebody comes out, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
Where exactly do you want me to
Oh
go to?
heck, we've seen these two before.
Started being rolled over because I've reviewed the ledger and I
You
don't.
can go ahead and go back, Creed. We're bringing them in.
Oh, really? That was quick.
Yeah.
All right, back to harassment court.
If I remember correctly, Andrea was married to a woman, and Deanne here
Oh, yeah.
took the wife Cheryl. But it looks like Cheryl is here today too.
Yes.
Everybody.
'Cause
Okay.
They put this off from last week to this week. Cheryl and Deanne work together.
Mayor, I'm gonna kick you out.
How about
not
Benton?
because
You
I don't
could
like but because I
hit
just
your
wanna
wife
confuse
on
the
the
judge that goes to
courtroom
hearing.
steps
If you
here
want
in
to watch the rest of the docket,
South Carolina,
that,
or in,
it's streaming on
Columbia.
YouTube right now. If you go to
There.
district court, it's just search YouTube for Clark County District Court. You can
Bless
find
you.
it if you want to watch.
Sneezed.
Oh, somebody's at Andrea's house too.
I
a new woman.
I thought that Andrea was Creed framing, but
have
Her new thick
guessing
woman.
Ms.
That was a
Is
big
it
girl.
Island? I know I ask you this every time. How to pronounce
That's
your
right,
last name.
JD. That's right.
Don't be in
yeah.
that hospital
Andrea
where she
Island
works.
And
Yes.
Deanna Graham and Cheryl Island, I see is connected as well.
I want to see Cheryl.
Yeah, that is. Oh, that's great.
So
Because
before I
Deanne is
forget,
definitely
Cheryl
older
Island, are
than
you with us? You'll have to
Andrea.
unmute yourself.
So that's her new
It's like
lover.
it's like watching the new version of Catfish when
Do
they
you want me to
almost
help you?
appear because Cheryl's name just
And if
came
you're
up.
in the same,
There
if you're
she
in the
is.
same place, you can just use the
It's
same
like watching
device if that's
Catfish.
easier
Just-
for you.
Just turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Shell,
Why don't you girls
Turn your
just
phone off.
cuddle up?
are you guys aware there's that poly relationship type thing? Maybe.
Oh gosh.
Come on, Cheryl.
Come on, Cheryl.
Now we're both just on my phone.
Okay, perfect. That's usually the easier way to do it.
Okay.
So I'll swear everybody in. If you could all raise your right hands. And,
Oh, where's Cheryl?
do you swear or
Cheryl,
affirm the evidence you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but?
She's got her girlfriend.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think everybody says yes. Does anybody say no? No. Okay. So let's see here. I've got your what is the easiest way to do this?
Andrew's got the better
why don't
rack.
we
I'll say
start
that.
Let's start with Ms. Graham's case because she filed it first, and then we'll.
If you
we'll
remember,
probably go back and
Deanne,
forth a
Miss
couple
Graham
times, so.
had a case. Then
So, Ms.
Andrea
Graham,
had
I
a
have
counter
looks like you
case.
filed two cases, one against
Mhm.
each of the respondents. And I have some notes. I also have your petition here in front of me if I need to refer to it.
Come nobody's drinking a beer here in harassment court.
If you'd like to just go ahead and tell me what your concerns are, or how the respondents have been harassing you, you're welcome to do that. I'll probably interrupt you with some questions, so I apologize in advance for that.
Okay, well, it started like almost a year ago when those two were separated. Cheryl and I started dating, and wasn't soon after that where I guess
That's Cheryl.
Andrea found out how happy we were and wanted her back. So that went back and forth for a while. In the summertime,
Oh, I'm confused.
Yeah.
we were not
That's
really
Cheryl.
seeing each other, and then we started up again, and Andrea found out that we were seeing each other again, and they both zoomed back to the house, and Andrea was going to come at me with a shotgun, and Cheryl had to wrestle that out of her hand, in which Andrea was arrested and tased for that. And then
that
like
happen?
we didn't talk
You
and
got
see
it.
each other for a while. And every single time it was Cheryl was the one that was messaging me. Like she's the one that reached out all the time. And I had told her that she needs to let me go and leave me alone, in which she doesn't. She won't leave me alone. And then she
Any proof?
gets a hold of me in January. I've been with Legacy Salmon Creek in the emergency room for 18 years since they've
believe she
opened,
went back
and with
to
Legacy for
Andrea.
20 years. 2 days before she started there, she's like, I'm going to be a Legacy employee. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, I'm going to be an ED screener, in which that is where I work in my department. Out of all the jobs that she could have gotten in Vancouver, she chose to come to where I work, knowing that it's unwanted and knowing that
She just
it's
wants
going to
sex.
cause problems. and it has, because Cheryl told Andrea that I was working. This was a few weeks ago, and they brought their daughter in, their adult daughter. And I was in pit that day, and my job when I do that is I call
Is the
people
computer
back to
leaking?
rooms. I go out to the waiting room and
all
call
that.
people back through
Computer's a
EKGs.
squirter.
And so I'm out there a lot. And she went and told my boss that I did nothing but harass her that day, which we have video footage that didn't happen. I didn't even make eye contact with her. And the waiting room was so full that day that we had asked visitors to leave, and she did not leave.
All this hot
And
lesbian
so
action.
2 days later, I get called in my boss's office telling me that she goes, well, do you know a Miss Island? And I said, which one? And she goes, Andrea. And I said, yeah, I know her. I said, that's my ex's wife.
I know that bitch.
And she goes, well, she called and
Homewrecker.
said all these things about you, like I was doing stuff out of my job code, which I wasn't. I was doing exactly what my job is. This is where I work. And they chose to come to the hospital where I work when all her
My
surgeons
hospital.
for her daughter are at the other hospital. And so then she proceeded to tell my boss and the HR people that I'm sleeping with her wife and they're probably having sex at work, and told them a lot of intimate details. And my boss is like, well, you're not even the patient, so you can't really be the one to call. And so they made their daughter call and file, harassment charges at me against my job, which my boss is like, it sounds just like a jealousy issue.
Wow.
And Cheryl has left notes on my car.
Wow.
And I
A lot
just
of
cannot
nudes have
work
been sent.
around her.
Wow.
There is 3 or 2 other places that she can go if she wants to still work in the hospital.
Wow.
That she can be moved to, so she's not in my face and harassing me at work.
Wow.
When did she leave a note for you?
It's
Well,
her
the
hospital.
one time it was when I came in for a migraine because of all this stuff. I was in there. I didn't want her to come, comfort me. She tried. I pushed her away. Then she found out what room I was in, came back to my room, and proceeded to hold my hand and try to rub my head, which I moved my hand and just didn't engage with her. And she was trying to answer the questions that the nurse was asking me. And then when she finally got the message that I didn't want her in the room, she left.
When was
Oh, she didn't like that look. She just gave her you did that.
It was probably a month ago.
Okay.
Does Andrea and her break up
But
immediately?
she's only been there 3 months.
On call.
I've been there 19 years. I've never had an issue ever at work.
And are you still both working in the emergency department?
Yes. And there's 2 other places in the hospital that she can go as a screener, and she chooses not to. And why? Because she wants to be near me. And there's lots of other hospitals that she can go to too. She's already told me that she won't let me go.
It's kind of disrespectful that
She
Cheryl's in
can't
here
let me go because she's madly in love with me.
chewing gum.
And I've asked her to stop. I've asked her
Or skull.
to move. She even told me she was going to move hospitals.
Either way, we know Cheryl has
Or
an
quit there.
insatiable oral fixation.
And she won't.
Does Cheryl get a chance
I've
to
got
talk?
a
I
lot
hope?
of people at work too that could back me up. And my boss even said that if you needed more information about the incident that happened between Andrea and calling my boss in HR, that she'd be more than happy to talk to you.
Hey, no, if that's true though, that JG, if that were the case, yeah, that's
Yeah, you can't be messing around with somebody's job. You gotta leave
Could you
the
tell me about
loving at home.
You submitted some messages.
Messages.
Through these here. I've got
He's gonna read them.
I've got messages from both parties, and it looks like they're between the parties. So probably everyone's got these, but we'll go through them.
Well, we have.
I've,
please.
Read
By all
Ms. Graham submitted this. We're kind of.
And Your Honor, can you speak up when you read these?
Those messages? I don't know if you can see that, but basically it's from Andrea to, I'm guessing, to Ms. Graham. Is that right, Ms. Graham?
Yes.
were
And
these
then,
on-
sure, I wanted to say that before
Don't
all
get
this
him off track.
happened, I was the face, which is when you come in the door, I'm the one that does all the vitals. She come over and asked to see my phone, got into my phone and deleted all the messages between me and her and me and Andrea, because she knew something like this was going to happen. And so there went like all my evidence of a lot of the harassment.
Damn.
And her wanting to be with me and just won't leave me alone.
Tell me how great I am in bed, Your Honor. Best she ever had.
Okay, John, that's funny.
These messages where it says, it's easier to share these, but it says, tell her wife says, fuck off, missed audio call, tell her to leave my fucking life alone. Better yet, tell her I'll move her shit myself. Do you know who and when and like what that series of texts is?
That was because Andrea had sent me a letter, which I gave to you, saying that, you know, Cheryl asked her to marry her again and all this kind of stuff. And I was calling to tell Cheryl to tell her to leave me alone.
Cheryl, making sure you
Why
got
is
her
she
wedding ring.
why is she sending me stuff to my house and showing up at my house?
Your Honor, can I speak on that real quick?
1 second. I do want to hear from you, but
Thank you.
Ms. Grimm, anything else you wanted to add? And you can talk about either of the islands if you want to.
I just want them to leave me alone, Your Honor. That's all I want. I want to be able to go to work and not have to worry about being harassed, being stared at, because that's what she does when I'm at work, is constantly just stare at me. It makes me uncomfortable,
It's like
and it
working with
makes
Knox.
everybody else uncomfortable. And I've told her, you need to go away and leave me alone. Let me go so I can move on with my life.
Can
And
we
she
read
keeps
some more
popping up.
messages?
Oh yeah, we got.
And then her showing up
messages
at my
from both
work.
sides.
And then she would tell me other stuff. I don't know if you want to hear this, but she's obsessed with me. She like would spray. I have a certain kind of spray that she would that she loves, and like she tells me that she lays there and masturbates to it.
Oh,
and I don't need to hear that. I don't need that shit in my life.
Oh,
she won't leave me alone.
No cursing in court, ma'am. It's a class.
And now my job is my safe place where I love my job. I've been there so long. I love all the people that I work with, but now I have to like see her every single day there, and it's not fair to me. And when she would come for her appointments, she told me that she used to sit out by my car and just stare at my car.
Smell my car seat.
That was Cheryl.
Yes.
No, Andrea. Oh, Andrea just wrote something to Cheryl. She's not happy.
Yes.
Yeah, they were just
I
whispering.
have a lot of this on text, Your Honor, too, but she deleted all that from my phone.
Strategic move.
What do you think the smell was?
I'd love. What fragrance was that? Jovan Musk for women, Your Honor.
And Andrea has told me that she wants
keep
me to
going,
go
yeah.
effing kill myself, and I should rot in effing hell. This is the
Say it.
shit that I've been putting up with, and I can't do it
Shit
anymore.
is just as bad as F, man.
And now they're coming to my place of employment and harassing me,
I think we got it. DM.
making me getting called into the office when I've never been called in the office.
Keep going, Deanne.
It's affected my life a lot, and enough's enough.
I kind of feel that way.
And she keeps like running back to me.
I would.
I
think
blocked her on
I mean,
everything. I've had to change my phone number.
I know we have some.
You know, wouldn't be surprised if she would, either one of them would fake an injury to come in there and see me and harass me.
Andrea kind of looks a little mad though.
Yeah, she doesn't seem happy about
Forgive me
this.
for just using first names. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but has Cheryl, since this order has been in place, has she had any contact with you at work?
No, because she's been on leave and on vacation, but starting Sunday, she works the same days as I do. And so, Your Honor, I'm asking that we need to either reword that so she cannot work in the emergency department, or she needs to go up and be a screener up in the Sky Bridge where I don't ever have to see her, because we do share a cafeteria. We share a time clock. We share a coffee shop.
We share
I share a
everything.
lot with Sharon.
And
We
she
shared
had no desire. I mean,
marital
she didn't even work
aids.
up until then. She could have worked anywhere. And she chose to come to where I work in the same department.
Andrea's in
And
the
she told me
white
she came there
butterflies.
so she could see me without her wife knowing. She lied to her wife about we even seen each other at work.
Cheryl is
So
in the
that she
blue
could
tank
be near
top,
me.
by the way.
And see me every day.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Andrea's in the butterfly.
We get it.
3 and 4 are admitted. Okay,
She is
and
very
then,
full of herself.
Dave Miller,
I mean, I know we have
either Cheryl or
people
Andrea
here
Island,
that
if you want to go
are
ahead, you're welcome.
lesbians and things.
Okay.
But
So this is
am I
Andrea.
right? Andrea is the hottest
Hi.
one, right?
So a couple things to address really quick. One thing that she did say was that with the complaint that they called my daughter to have her do that. That never happened, sir, Your Honor.
It did.
Can I finish talking, Your Honor?
You didn't say a word while you did Deanne.
Okay, thank you.
Quiet, Miss
Okay,
Graham.
so I did make a complaint, and it was because I felt very uncomfortable. It was overwhelming. She continued to go out there to the lobby. I did go to that hospital, and I'll tell you the reason why. I can't see you, Your Honor. I went to the Legacy Salmon Creek ED because my daughter had a bad experience at Peace Health. My daughter was on drugs and she had a head-on collision and she almost died. She had open heart surgery. A lot of things happened.
Oh my goodness.
So long story short, we
Too
ended
late.
up going to Legacy Salmon Creek Emergency Department because my wife was there. Not because Deanne was there, because her mother was there. I came with her because she couldn't walk. She couldn't stand.
Andrea sounds so much more sane right now.
She can walk to her car, it's fine.
And so we went there.
Ms. Graham, could you please not interrupt?
Okay.
And put your clothes back on, please.
So we went there. And my priority was my daughter's care. I didn't care about Deanne. I honestly did not know Deanne was working that day. Cheryl never told me she was working that day.
Long time.
Again, this was my daughter's choice of place. We've been going to Legacy for years. Very rarely have I gone to Peace Health Medical Center. So having that said, yes, there was a
weird
complaint
play.
because I was very uncomfortable because she kept going out. She purposely called my daughter's
making
name.
herself look
That was
crazy.
actually the nurse's job. And I actually talked to HR about that. That was agreed upon. I never talked about detail on them having sex in the hospital because I didn't know that, nor was that my concern. I did mention that they were having an affair, and it
Am I
was
the only
really
one
difficult
that
for me
thinks Cheryl was
because
to
she
blame
kept coming
for
out.
all of this?
Matter of fact, there was one point in time that she literally went right in front of me and parked a patient right next to us. There was plenty of room.
No
in the
judgments until
waiting room.
everybody
She
is
chose not to
spoken.
do that. So, and the text message where I was telling her to F off and all that stuff, that message on Facebook, she messaged through Mandy Smith. And I happened to see it on my wife's
Sounds like a
phone because
fake
my wife
name.
was in the shower and I was in the bedroom. She messaged Cheryl and she texted through that saying that she loves and misses her and wanted Cheryl to text her. And so I said, F off, this is her wife. Okay. And the reason I went to her apartment was because my wife was there and they were sleeping together. I did not pound on the door, Your Honor. I knocked on the door. And if she does have the ring, you can see that on the other time that I went there as well. I was very respectful. Deanne came to the door. My wife did not come out. Deanne did. And we spoke calmly, but there was never honestly a resolution. At no point in time did Deanne tell me to leave or not come back. I left on my own because I was hurt and upset of the situation. I did return another time and was told that Deanne was in the shower. I thanked her roommate
She's
and
written
left.
down. Yeah, she's reading the
I'm to
script.
assume that that is on video so you can see it if that's what happened. I agree that I did reach out to Deanne. I also told her in the letter that I would not reach out to her again, and I never did. My intention is not to harm her anyway. I just wanted clear honesty.
I'm only one thinks
So this had been
Deanne,
gone
not
for a
Deanne,
while.
but Cheryl looks like
Well,
Michael
Deanne
Moore.
reached out to me through her friend Mandy Smith on social media, wanting to meet up and discuss her relationship between her and my wife. My wife and I agreed to meet with her at Applebee's during this discussion.
Applebee's, of
She-
course.
and Meet at Applebee's, my apologies. During this discussion, she was insistent that I go through her phone and look at the nasty text between her and my wife. She actually physically handed me her phone and said, I want you to see everything. And so, of course, I took her phone and I looked through it. If she was afraid of me and threatened by me, she wouldn't have came. She also wouldn't have given me her phone to go through. She also wouldn't have messaged me to talk to me. And this is the second time, Your Honor. She also did this another time. And we met up at Red Robin. And during that time, she was insistent to be in detail on what she was doing sexually with my wife and told me how she wanted to marry my wife.
And we also
So,
had bottomless fries. while we
clearly,
were there.
she wasn't afraid of me. And during the conversation there, Deanne threatened to beat me up, and I told her that she wouldn't win. And then she continued to say that she would kick my ass. She also told my wife at another time at the emergency room, after the situation of me calling the HR,
Chili's
she told
handout.
my wife if she
Hands
saw me
down.
outside of there that she was going to kick my ass
Everyday
and
Chili's.
beat me up.
Do you
So
remember
during
when
the
that was approximately? Sorry to interrupt.
So the time was when we went to the emergency room with my daughter.
Okay,
Cheryl
that
had
was
told me
part of the
that was
same
during that
thing.
time. Cheryl, she told Cheryl that she was going to kick my ass outside of the hospital. So then back to Applebee's on March 7th was Applebee's. Deanne threatened me during that time at the place. And I also said, you know, that she wouldn't win, and she kept going how she was going to beat me up there. She then ended up throwing a full glass of ice water at my wife and myself before leaving, storming out of there, not paying her bill. The managers, Michelle and Eric, are very aware of the situation on what had happened. I actually called there, and the waitress that cleaned up the mess. So there's that. And unfortunately, again, like I said, this is the second meetup with Deanne that she has requested for me, not me.
Fletcher.
And that she wanted to tell me explicitly about her sexual relations with my wife and how she wanted to marry my wife and just all these things, which of course is very hurting.
As court
very
reporter, I
difficult time.
needed to get a
And I did
sketch
not
of
threaten her. Either
Deanne,
times that
and
we
that's
had
all I
those
got was her
conversations.
thumb.
So Your Honor, I seriously feel that Deanne is doing this in retaliation and that this is very angry. She's angry at my wife and I because we're working on our marriage.
Of course she is.
I don't feel the restraining order is needed. I honestly have no reason or want to be near Deanne whatsoever. I don't want to have anything to do with her anymore. I don't even want her in my life, you know, and I hope it doesn't occur. But if something happens between her and my wife again, I've told
He's
Deanne
reading
I'm
all those
divorcing my
messages.
wife, and I told my wife the same thing. Enough is enough. I've been hurt too much. This is the third time, Your Honor. And Deanne actually is the one that keeps coming and keeps texting and keeps messaging and keeps wanting
Cheryl,
to talk.
habitual cheater.
I was never told to leave at the emergency room, by the way, Your Honor. Nobody ever came up and told me to leave. And if they did, I would have left. I would never do that. I don't feel I should pay her court fees because I never threatened her. And again, she is the one that reached out. And she's the one that's angry and is hurt and feels the only reason that
Is
this
she
is
going
all
to get
happening
some
is because
tissues for her
she
woman?
wanted my wife to stay with her and not to stay with me. And that's why the situation has literally blown up to where it is at this point in time.
Your
So,
Honor,
Honor,
can I respond?
Well, hang on a second. I'll give you a chance to speak again.
Covering that up is so weird.
Oh,
Ms.
so
Island,
childish.
Andrea, go ahead. Or Andrea.
I'm sorry.
Looks
That
bad.
that's pretty much it. I just kind of feel that this is all overwhelming. And again, yes, like I said, I did want to talk to her, but again, at the last moment,
done
I
nothing
did
for her
stop.
case by
I
doing
didn't
that.
continue anything by any means, and I didn't threaten. When she brought up the charges that happened before all of this, a lot of those were allegations because my daughter was on drugs, unfortunately. And she had made a comment to you just earlier that I went to the house to get the shotgun to shoot her.
I need to hear.
No, that is
Cheryl's voice. by the way.
absolute lie. I never
right, hold on.
threatened her with a shotgun. No, I did not do that, nor was that ever proven. And there was a different reason why things happened at the house that day. And that is none of her concern, Your Honor. So I think that, again, a lot of this that she's bringing in is what happened in the past that I was very hurt and upset about. And then again, here we go again, being hurt and upset about the situation. But with all this said and done, what just happened, not one time was there a threat against her with me.
Question for Ms. Actually, before I ask that question, Ms. Cheryl Island, anything you'd like to add?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty much the crux of all the problems here, obviously. So I have something that I wrote up that I would like to read if I could. So on Saturday, March 5th, while Deanne was in California on vacation, I sent her a text via messenger telling her that I had made the decision to work on my marriage and would no longer be romantically involved with her. She had known prior to that time that I was going back and forth trying to choose between who I wanted to be with, and she was fully aware of that. And she knew that the decision that I was going to make was going to be coming up at any time. After I told her I no longer wanted to be involved with her, I blocked all communication with her. That was on March 5th. Monday, March 7th, when I got off of work at approximately 3:35 in the afternoon, when I went out to my car in the hospital parking garage, she had parked next to my car and was standing next to her car waiting for me. I told her I couldn't talk to her, that I needed to get home for an appointment.
Can you hear it?
She insisted on talking to me about my decision to stay with my wife. She said that Andrea cannot make me happy, that only she can. Told me again how much she loves me, that I am her one and only person, and that she would have married me that very day if she could. I told her how sorry I was for hurting her, for breaking her heart. She said, I don't know how you can sleep at night, and that she was going to tell Andrea everything about her and I.
Be safe.
She was extremely upset, angry, and tore out of the parking garage. When I got home, my wife showed me a text message from Deanne to her requesting a meeting to discuss our relationship and to bring Cheryl. The three of us, so this would now be about 2 hours later, then met at Applebee's and sat in a back booth. I started off the conversation telling both of them how very sorry I was for hurting both of them and putting both of them through so much emotional anguish by not being able to decide who I wanted to be with, because in actuality, I loved both of them.
Oh.
With Deanne sitting there, I told my wife about our sexual encounter at Deanne's apartment. That one day at her apartment in February is the only time I have been to her apartment for many months. I also told Deanne that I am not in love with her anymore and only want to be with my wife.
What did they
Deanne insisted that I was lying and that Andrea cannot make me happy. Deanne and Andrea said some heated words, and I told them both to chill out. At that point, Deanne very abruptly stood up, threw a glass of water at me, and left. The next morning, she saw me at work in the lobby, but I completely ignored her and gave no eye contact or communication with her. When I turned around, she was gone. Approximately 15 minutes later, a coworker told me she saw Deanne crying and throwing her stuff in a bag, and was saying that she couldn't handle this and was going to put a restraining order against Andrea and I. On Friday, March 11th,
D-boxed.
when I got to work at 7 a.m., I was immediately directed to go up to HR for a meeting with my
Because I look like one
supervisor,
of the fat boys. Don't
the
mean I am one.
director of employee relations, and my supervisor's boss. I can't see you. All I see is a red screen.
You can continue. It's
Okay.
I'm sure
Okay.
of the issue.
I'd rather not look at her.
I was told that
What a
many
big baby.
serious allegations had been brought against me by Deanne: harassment, stalking, sexual and professional misconduct, parking by her in the garage, coworker social media to contact her, letting my wife into ER with intent to harass Deanne, distracting Deanne at work, etc. I was placed on a paid administrative leave while a very thorough investigation was conducted for a week, utilizing cameras in ER, in the parking garage, and interviewing a multitude of employees. After a week, I was then called and had a video conference with my supervisor, the HR manager of the hospital, and
Yeah,
the
Deanne's
director
crying.
of employee relations. I was told that the investigation is complete and closed. The allegations made against me were not proved, unsubstantiated, and not collaborated with. I am 100% free and released to work again and to go back to my schedule in ER.
I don't think so.
Further, there is no disciplinary action to be made against me. I am simply advised to keep all future interactions with Deanne on a strictly professional level. I had sent a text message to Mandy Smith immediately following the Applebee's incident. This is the same person Deanne used a multitude of times to try to contact me after I had blocked her.
Like this
I
video.
told
please.
Mandy how bad I felt for how much Deanne is hurting, and that I hope Deanne finds someone to love her as she deserves. And I never talked to Mandy again.
Dildo.
I have never threatened, been violent, had malicious intentions, acted towards or otherwise put Deanne in harm's way or her car or her home. Her safety around me is not an issue. Harassment, stalking, safety allegations have all been thoroughly and completely proven false by hospital cameras and interviews with employees. Deanne is hurt, angry, feels betrayed, and bitter about me not
Pissed.
choosing to be with her. That
She's
doesn't
mad.
make me a threat. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Okay, and then Ms.
That's a
Graham,
mouthful.
You had more to add. You're welcome to.
Yes, just remember you two, you're under oath. In Applebee's,
Just remember
Andrea
you're
looked
under it.
me right in the eye and said, "I can kick your ass." And I said to her, "You know what? You are not worth going to jail over, and you are not worth me losing my job over. And yes, I will protect myself and defend myself if she thought that she could beat me up." Yes, I said it back, but that was that. And I, Your Honor, have a lot more text messages, but Cheryl decided to get in my phone and delete all those messages off my phone because she knew that it was going to come to this. And Your Honor, this is the third time that she's done this.
He does this.
She will not leave me alone. There is a reason she's working in the emergency room.
Let
And
them
she has
work it
told
out,
me that she won't let me go.
Why hasn't
And
her work
she
separated? then?
wanted to be able to see me without her wife knowing. And I cannot handle the stress with her
Maturity
being
issue.
there at all. And she told me, she promised me that she would quit from there. And she hasn't. Your Honor, I'm just asking for you to have her moved to a different screener position so I can do
he
my
do that?
job. And yes, when Andrea's daughter was there, it's part of my job, Your Honor, to call people back to the room. The nurse had asked me, call the next
lot of
person.
love.
And I said, well, I will, but she's this is like a conflict of interest. So I tried, she didn't come. I explained to the nurse everything. I said, it's a conflict of interest. I'm not getting in her chart. I want nothing to do with her. And Your Honor, that day it was really busy in there. There was a loudspeaker notice for anybody in the emergency room that is not a patient was asked to leave. We should not have to go out and tell every single person that they need to leave.
Deanne, your allegations against me were already proven false by the hospital. I worked at the hospital. I worked at the hospital with Andrea having full knowledge that I was working there, that there was a very high possibility of me seeing you. She's the one that gave me the green light to work there.
And she's giving you the red light right now.
Andrea's sitting right next to me.
Fine. That's fine, Your Honor. In the text messages that she deleted off my phone, she knew, or she told me Andrea didn't think that we worked that close, that I was in the back and she was up front. Yes, I have to go out front sometimes and work. And yes, part of my job is going out and calling people back. Taking care of the lobby in pit. That was my job for the day. I never once made eye contact with them. Yes, I had to put people right next to her because there was nowhere else to put people. And there was a gentleman that was sitting on the bench next to them that I had to take him back for an EKG and bring him back. And we can pull the footage if you need to see that. And my boss even said that I did not harass her. I did not do anything to her. And the only reason that Cheryl wants to be there, Your Honor, is because of me.
Like my job.
No, you could have chose any job in Vancouver. And you chose to come to my hospital.
How do you know?
In my department.
Could be the only place you got a job
the truth
offer.
out of you when you told me that you chose that so you could see me without your wife knowing. And you could see me every day. And when I'm out there, all you do is stare at me. I look up from my computer and you're staring at me. I walk out to call somebody and she's staring at me. It's got to stop. It's causing problems at my job. And I've been there 19 years. She's been there 3 months. She can move to a different area in the hospital if she wants to be there. But why should I have to face this every day when I've told you I want you to leave me alone? And go away.
I have no problem.
You told me that you cannot let me go.
You know you
I
want
have
me
no
still.
problem doing my job and being professional at work.
It causes me great anxiety and stress because
that's not my problem.
It is your problem. You've caused this, Cheryl. You've caused all of this.
How is he letting them talk to each other in court?
Continues.
No, I'm not. And Andre, you're the one that freaking texted me first. I want to know why my wife is at your house. You're the one that reached out to me both times, and I sent him the text.
She told her that stuff about working there because she works there. Just
you can't control your wife. You can't keep her happy, evidently, and she keeps having to run back to me. I can't take it no more.
Your Honor, is this going to be an arguing match? Because this is not what I want. We're not getting anywhere here.
I just want her to go away and leave me alone, and we won't have an issue.
She's saying.
I think I've heard enough. So, first of all, with regard to the cause number ending in 5-3, that's Ms. Graham versus Andrea Island. In that case, I'm dismissing it. And the reason is, one of the things I have to look at in terms of a course of conduct is whether the respondent's course of conduct appears designed to alarm, annoy, or harass a petitioner. It seems to me virtually every communication from Andrea to Ms. Graham was, I mean, she's understandably emotional about what's going on. I don't know, not really emotional, understandably upset, I guess I should say is more accurate about what's going on. And everything I've seen seems to be the purpose of that is to find out what's going on with her wife and somebody else. So I can't very well say that's harassment. I mean, I guess it it could turn into that, but from what I've seen, I just don't see that as being the case. So cause number ending in 5-3, and that's Graham v. Andrea Island, is dismissed.
Thank you.
And then for the other cases, for cause number ending in 5-7, that's Ms. Andrea Island versus Deanne Graham. I mean, that the big one there is really the Applebee's kind of explosion, I guess, or confrontation. I mean, I wasn't there, so it's hard for me to really visualize it, but it sounds like it was, whatever it was, it didn't end well. That's really the issue there, and it's one incident, and otherwise there was some back and forth communication looking at the text messages here, but I just can't conclude that's a course of conduct. I mean, I think I'd like to think that was a genuine attempt to resolve some issues that went sideways, but
went real sideways.
I can't say it's a course of conduct that was going on. So that is dismissed. Cause number ending in 5-7.
Wow.
The last one is Ms. Graham versus Cheryl Island. That was kind of hard because I think, practically speaking, if I were to grant a protection order, it'd probably solve a lot of problems, because it seems like you really shouldn't have contact with each other, and it's really messing up a lot of other things that's going on in your life. You don't need to tell you this, you know it. But I don't know that it's really harassment. I mean, I don't know that what I'm looking at is really harassment so much as unpleasantness between two people that have had, probably still have feelings for each other
in front of us.
And I don't really think it is a course of conduct that really amounts to harassment. I'm not saying it's not serious, but I just don't think it meets the definition. So I'm going to dismiss
Should
that
we
case
kiss
as
each
well.
other
I
right here on
realize that
camera
kinda
so she
leaves
can
things
see it?
open between everybody. I would just hope that you're not going to have contact with each other. I'm hoping that you've got everything worked out, or you will, because frankly, you all seem like very nice people, very pleasant. I would be happy to know each and every one of you, but
I'd love to go to
it
Applebee's
really
with
is
you
just
guys.
not working as
Or Red
you
Robin.
all being in communication with each other. So
Well,
I
with
mean, I
her
think
right
this
in
is
front and center, working with me every day.
I know that. I'm sure that's difficult, and I'm hoping maybe your employer can offer some relief in terms
Deanna,
of
she doesn't want you. You're a
reassigning
pillow
folks
princess.
or
There's
figuring out
3 other
schedules.
places she could go.
But it sounds like
Like-
they've addressed that already. I'm hoping they'll further address it, but in terms of what I can do, I just don't think I'm in a position to offer any kind of resolution to that, unfortunately. So
It
Nobody
has
wants
been
her there.
addressed already, Your Honor.
Nobody wants you there, Cheryl.
Wow,
ready for
thank
it. With
you.
that, we'll send each of the parties a document.
Such a
showing that the
baby,
case
I'm
was
sorry.
Everybody
dismissed.
thinks you're a skank.
Really, nobody got what you wanted. You all have the right to appeal. You can do that by checking.
It's
with
okay.
district
I will.
administration.
I'll be appealing.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Okay, thank
You're
you.
unappealing.
Goodbye.
Don't worry,
Hope you're
Deanna.
happy.
Andrea, do it, Andrea. I know you want. I know.
I hope you're happy.
And
Damn.
wow.
Oh my God. He does let them go back and forth. He does.
But
He
that's
lets-
part of. I think that's part of harassment court, though.
Anderson and Anderson.
to see
nobody
if something can
appeared,
get
so that'll be
worked out
dismissed.
without all the fighting and things like that. But wow,
I think that he does that on purpose, though, to kind of let them.
he really does. He doesn't lose control. He kind of sits
Um,
back and lets them go a little bit. Because you get right away a feeling, you don't know what people are doing.
Murray and Parker. That was a
Huge
weapons
erection.
surrendered.
Uh,
Compliance. I don't see that there was service.
That's insane.
it really, because at first you're like, oh, Deanna's the poor thing. And then she's busy doing this the whole time.
Well, do you remember?
know.
If I'm not mistaken, and you guys probably remember a little bit better than me, weren't we kind of pulling for her?
Yes, that was
Yeah,
that's
at
right. There were two
first.
of them in there, but they're
Right?
both like the old
Last
ones, so
week?
I don't think it. anything
Yeah,
happened.
we were like, oh man,
They're both
Andrea's
from
a
February 16th.
BT. But wasn't shit? Was I wrong, Creed, to remember that Andrea, that Cheryl and Deanne were together last week?
Yeah, that was confusing last week.
somebody was there with Deanne.
Yes.
Because I could have swore she said Cheryl's here with me. And then all of a sudden now Cheryl, jumped over to the other team.
Damn.
It's a revolving door there.
It's crazy. I don't think that's the last time we ever see them, by the way.
No. When she said she was
Pretty
going to do another appeal,
Yeah.
she wasn't lying.
Love harassment court, but
Wow.
I want to take you over to Pawpaw's place where he has shall I say it, a shitload of prisoners.
Oh, wow.
Commission of violent offenses, then Mr. Culver will be appointed to handle that case also.
It's non-violent in the SRA.
They're stuck like firewood in the basement.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you for being on top of that. I'm going to appoint Mr. Culver to represent you in this charge also. And again, you will next appear in court on these charges on Monday,
They all need a date.
April 4th at 8 a.m. Bail was set on the custodial assault case in the amount of $20,000.
I think you might be right about that.
Bail was set in the, let's see, that's not the right case. Let's see. In 22-1-33, which was the burglary charge filed back in January, there was a warrant issued with bail in the amount of $25,000. I'm going to leave bail set in those amounts. In the most recently filed charge, I'm going to set bail also in the amount of $25,000. So Mr. Dunlap, we'll see you back on Monday, April 4th at 8 a.m. You may ask the court at that time to reconsider the amount of bail in any or all of these cases.
BRB.
All three will be on for a
I'll be
arraignment
here.
on April 4th at 8 o'clock.
Me and Pawpaw and a bunch of jailbirds.
That's all for today, Mr. Dunlap. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hope you're happy.
State of Washington versus Anthony Capoman. All right. Good morning, Mr. Capoman, for what I think is the third time that I've seen you this week.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning. We're actually going to proceed with your hearing today. So, Mr. Capoman, have you seen an attorney yet regarding this charge against you?
So double check, make sure it's live. It's
Okay. In fact, I don't see any
morning there
information.
still, I
Mr.
guess.
Griff, what is the status of Mr. Capone's case? You're muted, Mr. Griff. There you go.
Come on, Grip.
This matter has been filed. I put a copy of the information in your unsigned orders folder. I believe it's listed as information Capoman and with the cause number.
All right, let me see. Okay, I have it.
I
Thank
saw
you.
her earlier.
All right, Mr. Capoman. Criminal charges have been filed against you. You've been charged with the following crimes: possession of a controlled substance with intent to deliver, and this substance is heroin that you're accused of possessing. You're also charged with possessing fentanyl with intent to deliver.
Oh.
Both of those crimes are alleged to have been committed on
That's
or
nice.
about March 22. They're felonies, they're serious charges. You are entitled to be represented by an attorney on these charges. Do you intend to hire your own attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
You okay?
I would like to, if I can get out and get my affairs in order, I would hire my own attorney.
All right. If I want you to come back on Monday, April 4th at 2:30 and to have an attorney with you, when I say come back, I mean over Zoom. Will you have an attorney hired and representing you by Monday, April 4th?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I'm going to sign an order today that releases you without having to post bail. And I'm going to sign an order that schedules your next hearing for Monday, April 4.
You got a heroin and a
2:30
fentanyl
p.m.
charge in it.
And you need to be present for that hearing, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Grip, I'm sorry I didn't give you an opportunity to be heard regarding bail. Are there any compelling reasons to hold Mr. Capoman at this time?
The defendant doesn't have any felony history, although he does have an outstanding municipal warrant on a theft 3 and a history of not appearing on municipal court matters. Suffice it to say that this search warrant came about after controlled buys. So there is some longer history of narcotics transactions, which have been admitted to. And this was
Third
also
floor is tired.
Occurred in close proximity to a child of his girlfriend. And it is known that narcotics trafficking occurred in close proximity to this child.
Oh, that's nice.
Mr. Kapoman, I'm going to tell you what you probably already know, and that is that if you don't show up for your court hearing on April 4th or down the road, any of your court hearings, I will issue a bench warrant for your arrest. You know that the police know where you live and who you are.
Yes,
And
sir.
if I issue a bench warrant for you, it won't take them very long to find you and to bring you back before the court. And if that happens, I will set bail in an amount that you will not be able to post.
I understand, Your Honor.
You will be in custody for the duration of this case until it's completed. I don't want that to happen. I just want you to understand that there would be significant consequences for you not appearing in court, okay?
I understand, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll see you back on April 4th at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's all.
Judge is already going to let him out before he even listened to what Grip had to say. He's reading a book.
State of Washington versus Travis Allen. Good afternoon, Mr. Allen. Ms. Young, are you still with us?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, what are we doing in Mr. Allen's case today?
Mr. Allen is changing his plea as to, I believe it's count 1, count 2 is being dismissed, and we're going to ask for his release today as with our recommendation, he would have credit for time served.
And tired. She's yawned like
And I
4
have
times.
placed both the plea statement as well as a dismissal order for count 2 in your unsigned folder, Judge.
Is there some reason why we're doing this today instead of on a Monday docket?
I think this was set over on Monday for this reason, but
I
I was
see.
sick last week, Your Honor, and so I
I
didn't.
see. We were on for a pretrial conference on Monday, and Ms. Young, you weren't ready at that point to confirm or resolve. Is that right?
Well, we might find out. Looks like there's only
Okay. What's our
3 of them
trial
left.
date?
our trial date is the 12th of April.
All right. Ms. Young, it's been a long morning. We still have some more cases to hear. Here's what I would prefer to do, and that is to release Mr. Allen today as you're requesting, and to place him on the docket for Monday at your docket time, 10:45, and to deal with his change of plea at that time.
No objection.
That's acceptable? All right. So, Mr. Peterson, if you would prepare an order reducing bail to 0 to allow Mr. Allen to be released today, and then setting it on for a change of plea for Monday at 10:45, I think that will take care of today for us.
I will do so, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Allen, you understand what we just did?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you'll be released today, and then you need to get to a laptop or some other smartphone type device and appear in court on Monday at 10:45. Okay?
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. That's all for today. Thank you, Ms. Young.
Thank you.
Pawpaw moved him through fast.
All right. Who do we have on the jail third floor?
Jennifer Forsman.
Jennifer Forsman. All right. And Mr. Peterson, is this your case?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a co-defendant case. I placed the documents in your folder. It's the exact same probable cause statement and charge as the other person I handled this.
Thank you. All right. Is your true and correct name Jennifer Lee Forsman?
Yes, sir.
Is April 6, 1983 your date of birth?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Forsman, you have been charged with the crime of residential burglary. The accusation against you is that on or about March 23.
Burglary. You guys are
this
wrong.
year in Grace Harbor County, you entered or remained unlawfully in a dwelling belonging to Amber Rose and Barry Fruchter. Mr. Peterson, your information alleges that the dwelling was located at, and then there's no address provided.
Oh, I apologize, Your Honor. I will make sure that Scrivener's error gets fixed. The @ is at.
Damn it, Rick.
800 South Valley Road.
He's clearing them out fast, man.
Yeah. Pushing them through, letting them loose, letting them walk.
Right. So that's the accusation against you. The crime of residential burglary is a serious charge. Please stand up.
Yes.
Oh, she's the burglar.
Charge against you is serious, and you are entitled to be represented by an attorney. Are you going to hire your own attorney? Or are you asking the court to appoint an attorney?
Probably 22.
My affairs are in order to hire one.
Okay. And Mr. Peterson, for Mr. Parnell, did I appoint
Judge Paul can
You
see if
appoint-
he wants to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cover.
Mr. Culver?
Yeah,
all right.
this is a different side of Paw Paw.
He has been ruthless today. She was all casual in that chair, all kicked back. Like,
Well, she did stand up when he asked her name, and then sat back down. I'll give her that.
she said, "Oh, I'll just sit down now."
I'm going to appoint Michael Nagel to represent Ms. Forsman. Mr. Nagel will be notified that he's been appointed. You're going to be given a piece of paper with his name and telephone number on it. You should call him immediately. Your next court hearing is called an arraignment. I'm going to schedule your arraignment for Monday, April 4 at 8 a.m. Your attorney will be present at that hearing to represent you. It's very important that you call him as soon as you possibly can to discuss this. Mr. Peterson, what can you tell me about Ms. Forsman's criminal history?
Gotta be died,
She's had some
right?
charges. She has
Yeah.
absolutely no convictions. She has a pending theft third, and 2 warrants have been issued in her past, but no convictions.
Another
Ms.
theft
Forsman,
charge. That's
where were you living before you were arrested or brought into custody?
Under a bridge.
It was the travel trailer.
Close enough.
And where is that travel trailer located somewhere permanently?
Depends on the day.
It was at 400 North East Street, but it was stolen. And it was pulled into like a field, and that's why we ended up looking for somewhere to sleep that day.
Why don't you
if
just go to the
were
field
to
where
live
it was at?
today, Where would you live? Where would
My
you
mother.
sleep tonight? Huh?
My mother's.
Okay. And how long has it been since you lived with your mother?
A year, maybe.
Pardon
I
me?
moved out when I was 18.
Okay. Well, your mother's going to need to come to court if that's what you're proposing to do, so that the court can ask her questions about her ability and willingness to supervise you, and to assure that you, in fact, have a place to live with her. So in the meantime, I'm going to set bail amount of $20,000, Mr. Peterson. I want the order setting bail to provide that the defendant must appear in court if she posts bail, so that we can determine and set appropriate release conditions.
And Your Honor, given that, would you like me to put the same language in the co-defendants so that he has to appear?
All right, so we got a pretty good idea of what's going on with her. We're going to end today with a little bit of overtime with one of our favorite places.
Florida.
Over to Florida.
Estoy diciendo a dónde ir, nomás le estoy diciendo que no puede estar con ella.
That's not Floyd.
Okay.
All right, your
Floyd got
bonds are
young.
set as follows. On the aggravated battery with the 4 feet long level, bond set at $10,000.
He hit him with a 4 foot long
5,000
level.
On the false imprisonment, 5,000 on
That's
the
a unique
tampering with a
weapon.
witness.
Entonces el bono está puesto como sigue para agresión con agravantes. Este es en $10,000 y
time we've
después
seen Jonathan
detención ilegal y manipulación de un
What if he's been
testigo,
there all along
$5,000 cada
as a
uno.
translator or not?
Your court
Let's see
date
it.
is May the 9th at 9 a.m.
The hell is Floyd?
Tu próxima audiencia es el 9 de mayo a las 9 de la mañana.
You
We're
think
gonna do a
we'd
little
ever?
overtime, right?
Should you make
Oh,
both,
yeah,
you'll
yeah.
be
Think we'll
on
ever
the
see
pretrial
Floyd
release
speak.
program.
En
That's
caso
true,
de
I
que puede pagar el
Yeah,
bono,
I'll be all
va a estar en el programa de juicio.
He has the best camera.
You'll have absolutely no contact with Miss Lopez Hernandez except through proper pretrial discovery.
He hit Miss Lopez Fernandez with a 4
No va a
foot
tener
level.
ningún contacto absoluto con la señorita López Hernández.
Okay. Do you have any question about what no contact means?
¿Tiene alguna pregunta acerca de lo que significa no contacto?
Sí, no, yo entiendo.
No, yes, I understand.
Okay. Take care, sir.
Okay, cuídese,
Step
señor.
over to the T.
Is that it for our Spanish speakers?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank
you.
God.
It's very nice to see you.
Thank you, Erna. Have a good day.
Because that would have been tough for us. None of us are Spanish speakers
Hello,
over
what's
here
your
on this
name,
side of the
sir?
bench.
Cornell Beard. Mr. Beard, I don't know why I asked that. We're going to keep seeing each other for a while, it looks like. They've added another charge of burglary of a conveyance. It's punishable, as you know, by 5 years, $5,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one based on the information that you provided previously. You do qualify for the public defender. Would you like me to make sure the public defender is representing you in this case as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the public defender's appointed. I think I set your bond at $100 on those last 4 or 5. Let's make it $100 on this one as well. You've already got 200 and something thousand bond. Take care, sir. April 25th at 9 o'clock.
His bond is,
Step to your right.
he already had, he gave him another $100 bond on this new conviction, case, but he's already up for $200,000 with all these little breaking and enterings.
Right
You're
to the
welcome.
T. When the light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Lance Allen Johnson. Hello, Lance Johnson, case number 221181. It's introduction of contraband in the county jail and also possession of paraphernalia. Possession of contraband is punishable by up to 5 years, $5,000. Straight possession of paraphernalia would be punishable by up to a year in jail, but you've gotten charged with using your paraphernalia to take things into the jail. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything
Such
you
a
say can be
stupid
used
move to
against you.
bring
You have the
in
right to an
drugs.
attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. You do have the public defender on your other case. Would you like me to appoint the public defender to represent you on this? Yes, sir, I would. Okay. Your bond on that other is the other thing that I could find, 22,988 is 7,500. Are you not able to make that bond?
No, I'm trying to get that together, but I've got 90-day child support for that.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
he's also got
But
an
if
arson that's holding him for 20,000.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just saying,
Okay.
you're not, so you
That-
think
that's
you
my
might
own
be able to
house.
make the bonds or you
Yeah,
can't make?
that's my own house. I wouldn't have burnt my own stuff up. I mean.
Well,
that's
no,
just
but that's not the question. It's just, I'm just trying to figure out what kind
Burn
of
this
bond.
house
I don't
down.
need to set a whole lot of bond here if you can't make the other ones. And this, the date of this offense is March 11th.
Good
so we're-
afternoon, Panama City State Attorney's Office.
That's Larry.
Sorry.
Oh, Callie was playing that. Well, I'd kind of like to hear what Larry was going to say. Maybe he's giving you the rest of the day off. Lance, I'm just going to set your bond at 2,500 on the first count and 500.
The last
on
guy had a
second for an extra
$200,000
I saw
already
that
hanging over his
added a
head.
hundo on
Under
it.
your court date on this is April 25th at 9, unless you have an earlier court date already assigned. Take care.
That guy right there had a $20,000
When the light
for
comes on,
burning down his
sign
own
next.
house.
I heard that arson.
Red X, sir. State your name.
Jim Blaze, BLAIS.
Hello, Mr.
Your Honor,
Blaze.
Rusty Shepherd on behalf of Mr. Blaze.
Hey, Rusty. Mr. Blaze,
Rusty.
221180. You remember yesterday when we talked, I told you that they might charge you with aggravated assault. Now they have. It's punishable by up to 5 years in prison with a minimum mandatory 3 years if convicted. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. Have one appointed for. If you cannot afford one, Mr. Shepherd's here on your behalf. I don't know why this was not the charge yesterday, Mr. Blaze, but I've got to take that in consideration. Anything you want me to know, Rusty? I already know that he's a professor at Gulf
Speaking
Coast,
of-
that he basically has no record and that he makes
Speaking
about
of,
$40,000 a year.
Impractical.
Been living here for
Jokers,
about
like,
20 years, Judge. Went to Arnold, Gulf Coast State. The only time he left was to go to school at UWF. Lives with his parents. They're both longtime Bay County residents, Judge. I think
Is he in
pretty
a
much
storage shed?
said what I've got.
It would appear so. He's working out of a storage shed. You know, plug in a Scentsy warmer. You're good to
Yeah.
go, Creed.
Yeah.
What more do you need? Mr. Blaze. By the way, Mr. Blaze is a professor. Never been in trouble.
Oh, that's true, you think?
Yeah,
I
that's
thought
what
he
he's
was
just.
making- He did
No.
say that.
But he does live with his parents.
Thank you, sir.
What kind of bond did I set yesterday?
Pretrial
Mr.
release.
Blaze?
PTR. Oh.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have, with this allegation that you actually pointed the firearm at somebody, I'm gonna make you bond $7,500.
Once in a while, we like to
I
pause
previously
it so
told
that
you
we can not talk
not
over
to possess any
everything.
firearms while this case is pending. And again, of course, no contact with any victim
Deal for
except
a
through
minute
proper
behind.
pretrial discovery.
Thank
have
you
any
for
questions?
But thank
the assist.
Yes, Your Honor. Is bond returned when you appear at your
Yes.
If you pay cash, it is.
if you pay card, is it?
Mr. Blaze, I'm
Well, I
fixing to
mean,
meet with
if
your
you
parents.
pay- Yeah, if you don't go through a bondsman, so cash or credit, whatever,
Well,
if you
his
put
mom
up
and
all the
dad are about to
money
get
and
him
you
out.
appear for all your court dates, you get it back at the end.
Understood,
Mr.
Your
Blaze,
Honor.
I'm getting ready to
Yeah,
meet with your
that's-
parents right here. We're going to talk about that very thing, sir. Okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say, you need to listen.
Tell me he doesn't look like
Yeah, I
Brian
thought that's
Quill.
who it was.
Q.
Okay. Your court date is April 18th at 9
Professor
a.m.
Q.
Take care.
Thank you,
That
Judge.
to
That's
your
all
right,
I've
to
got.
the
May be
T?
excused.
Okay,
When the
Rusty,
light-
of course, good to see you.
Did he say
Yes,
follow
sir. Have a good
God?
weekend.
What's
Rusty,
left
did
of
you want to address Nos while you're still here, or you want to?
We can, Judge. I had Jared Noss, who was also on the first appearance docket, but he apparently had a seizure after court this morning and was taken to Bay Med.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was already
Okay, well,
held
let's
without
talk.
this morning.
He was
Yeah, I
held
saw
without
that.
on a pending charge.
Right. I wrote that down that I was going to
What he
hold him,
said.
but then I saw that Judge Stevenson held him without earlier today. So
Never been
Rusty,
in
if you
trouble
don't mind,
either.
I'll go ahead and set a bond on this petty theft case.
That'd be fine, Judge. Thank you, sir.
All right, let me just I'm going to write on here that he's medically unable to attend. And we'll just add to this, you
Could
want
that
me to
guy's
put some
day
kind
got
of
any
nominal
worse?
bond so that in case he gets
Going to
time,
court,
that there's
having
credit
seizures.
for it. He should get credit even if it's pretrial release, but I'll put a small bond if you want me to.
Please, sir. Yes, thank you, Judge.
Okay. It's $261 in Pokemon cards is what he's accused of stealing. I'll make his bond $500. And I'll tell him to stay away from all Circle K stores in Bay County.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
were going to make it
25th
261,
at
Judge?
9.
Bye, Ashley. Have a good
I was
weekend.
going to.
Have a good one.
I'm here. I was thinking you were going to go with the 261.
No, I'm going to make it 500.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you, Judge. I appreciate you. That's all I've got.
I got him up over here, but I
All
love
right,
these.
take care.
I see he's still going with
We're still on tenant
it's
stuff.
just, yeah, it's landlord
Thank
tenant
you.
stuff. Which is,
State your name,
these
sir.
are so good. These first appearances.
Yes.
Nicholas Martin.
Still in Pokemon cards.
Hello, Mr. Martrain. You are here in case number 21, 1357, and 1358. It's DUI and refusal to submit. I'm trying to remember. Seems to me that one of the previous things I had you for recently was a DUI. Is that what you're here for, Jillian?
No, Your Honor. I am here for Mr. Martrain just for the limited purposes of first appearance. Mr. Martrain, he is local. He's not a flight
Gary. I
risk
know some of these people.
on the new DUI and
just a-
refusal.
Yeah, he's just a crime risk. Mr. Martrain, I just revoked your probation in December of 21 on another DUI. So here's what we're going to do.
So he likes to drink.
Let me advise you of your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up
Love
that
to
right,
drive.
anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. Ms. Goldhagen's here for you today. She said it's limited purpose, so you need to figure out what you're going to do. If that doesn't work out and you think you need the public defender, you can tell that to Judge Van on Monday at 1 o'clock. Your bond set at $10,000 on the DUI, $1,500 on the refusal to submit. Should you make bond, you will report to the pretrial release office by 9 o'clock the next business day. shall not consume or possess any alcoholic beverages while this case is pending. Take care, Mr. Marchmain.
Pokemon.
Step to your right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
On the left.
Thank you.
Red X man, state your name.
Anna Verity.
Sucks
Hello,
without
Mr. Verity.
Floyd.
You got a failure to pay fine. Case
Yes, sir,
number
I-
21-1835.
I completely
to-
forgot.
Do you have some way of paying that fine?
Not right now, no. I just started my job today,
Well-
actually tonight.
It's
First day of work.
you got to pay
Uh-huh.
$450 or do 10 days. So that's the sentence, 10 days. You can be released anytime upon the payment of $450. Take care, ma'am.
Then he can go to work.
Wait. Step over to the T.
You're gonna miss
the green light
that
comes
first
on,
day of
sign.
work.
Red X
They'll
man,
understand.
state your name.
They'll understand.
She tall.
Miss Mathis. Case number 22-1141 and 1142, 2 counts of fraudulent insurance claims. Those are each punishable by up to 5 years, $5,000. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford. All right, I looked you up. You've got either some pending cases or something you just got on probation for. Or you have pending cases?
It's probation.
It's probation, but these
Okay,
were.
it's not a violation. I was just
Yes, sir.
I was just gonna
Okay.
check about the, about whether you get the public defender. You do have a pending case of petty theft.
Yes, sir. I have I think it's Charles Williams on those.
Well, it
she
says
did
right
get
now
the
you've got the public
insurance
defender
fraud.
on that. Would you want me to
Then
appoint
up
the
her
public
own
defender
car?
on this case too?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yeah, some of
Better to
these
have a
numbers should-
lawyer
Yep.
than
Get
not,
more
right?
info.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Can I say something?
No, hold on just a second.
Okay.
I'll get to it. And let me say, again, if I haven't already said it, or again, if I have said it, that you do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be
Can't
used
keep 'em
against you.
all.
You should be careful about anything that you say because we're recording it all. I'll listen to what you want to say.
No, sir, it's nothing pertaining to my case in particular. I was just trying to see if there's any way that I could that you consider. I'm in school
that too,
and,
yeah.
Like my enrollment is at state right now. I've lost 2 days that I haven't attended class.
You sure did,
So,
bud.
If
Mm.
just in taking consideration.
Scary.
With a
Very
guitar
frightening.
that looks very close to yours.
Eerily similar.
Well, I'm looking at your history.
We do
Going
agree.
all the way back to 03
Rico guy.
with the petty theft. That's the first thing that you recorded. Then you went.
Yeah,
up
get
to
ready. Got a long one
trafficking,
because it's Friday,
controlled
right?
substance, no 5, and it's just
It's
been
a long
continual since
show.
then. So the fact you're on probation is good because there's some supervision, but I'm still going to set a
405.
bond. I'll set it at a total of 5,000, 2,500 per count. Your court date is May the 2nd at 9 a.m. Please tell your PO
Yes, yes, sir.
that you've got this charge and get them to
Yeah,
check
he
the
know,
dates.
he
That
know.
way they won't violate you on it, okay?
Yes, sir. He
Terrible
the one
likes
called
today.
me and turned me in.
Okay.
so he's
Yeah,
already-
Bad
Yes,
likes
sir.
today.
Okay, good deal.
Come on,
You
get
just
those
don't want them
likes
to
and
violate you when you know the date. I
Yes,
checked
sir.
the dates match up, so
Yes, sir. Thank you.
take care.
Step
You're
to your right and sign where the green light is. Next. Red X ma'am. Red X, step on the X. State your name.
Cassie Smith.
Cassie Smith, case number 21-4630. That is your violation of probation, the case you just got sentenced on January 24th. You
Man,
have
that'd
new
take long.
charges in case number 22-1400. That's possession of paraphernalia and petty theft. The paraphernalia is punishable by up to 1 year, $1,000. You do have at least one prior petty theft, so this is probably a first-degree misdemeanor with the same maximum sentence. You
That's-
have the right to remain silent. Should you
That's
give
the
up that
worst
right, and
when
you
you
can
when
stay-
when you're
you
violating
have the
probation or
right
something
to
that
an
you're already
attorney
on
and to have one
probation
appointed
for.
for you if you cannot
You're not
afford
going
one.
anywhere.
If you would like the public defender to be appointed, raise your right hand and be sworn, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
And
Thank you.
members only at
And,
6 p.m. though.
When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
It's been
I'm
a
answering
while.
Nathan's question.
I've been looking for employment.
Months, weeks, years,
Weeks.
days, hours, weeks?
Nathan,
Okay,
there's
when's the
all
last
three of
time
them
that you
will
worked
appreciate
in?
you sending
Weeks, how
them
many
in.
weeks?
Keep them coming.
It's been a while.
Judge just put a Werther's in
I'll
his
let you
mouth.
take that up with the circuit court judge that you see on April the 27th at 9 on the VOP, or with Judge Van on Monday at 1 o'clock on the misdemeanors.
That's a great
Your
question.
bond set on the VOP
She
at
says about the-
$15,000.
I'm
Your
not even
bond
looking
on
for
the new
work.
Charges are
It's been a while.
2,500
A
on the
while. Weeks, hours.
paraphernalia and 1,500 on the theft. You'll stay away from all Bay County Walmart stores. If you make bonds, you'll report to the pretrial release office by 9 the next business day and submit to your analysis at your own expense. Take
Okay.
care.
Step to your right to the T. One look,
Once we
step
hit
on the
100
T.
subscribers over there, I'll drop the wrenches.
State your name, ma'am.
Chrissy Drummond.
Talking about we got a case on YouTube.
Just the cases, none of the chases. All court, all the time.
Almost a job.
Drummond, case number 22-364. Charged with grand theft of a necklace that's worth approximately $798.
Oh.
Have the right to remain silent. That's punishable by 5 years, $5,000, by the way. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used
Or the
against
Circle
you. You have the
K.
right to an attorney and to have
Or the
one
Circle
if you cannot afford one. If you want the public defender, raise your right hand and be sworn, please. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can put your hand in. When's the last time that you had a job or any other source of income?
It's been a
Not
minute since I had a job.
Been a minute.
I haven't been out of prison that long. I just got out of federal prison in 2019.
I'd have to move.
Yep. So
She
a
said-
minute,
she said it's
now
been
it's
a minute.
226. Does that mean you had a job at 225? Have you
Yes,
had
sir.
a job since you got out of prison?
No, sir.
Okay, well, that's easy enough.
Yes, sir.
Do you own any land or property, any real
Do
estate?
you think they
No,
check?
sir.
Like if you just lie about, I'd say yes. Of course, I've been working, but under the table for family.
Well, see,
Do
I
you
mean,
have
they're
a car,
trying to
truck, boat,
determine if
plane,
you're going to get a
motorcycle?
free
No, sir.
I know, but they don't.
attorney.
That's good. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Thank you.
I've got a note here that says she's on felony probation, but it's not in Florida that I can find. So what can you tell me about that, if anything?
Where is it?
U.S. Mark. I'm a federal hold.
Yes, the federal. It's a federal hold she has.
I'm a federal hold,
So,
Your
ma'am,
Honor.
no matter what bond I said, if you've got a federal hold, you're gonna have to deal with them first, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bond on this is set at $10,000. Your court date is May the
Yay.
2nd at 9 a.m. Stay away from
Mikey
all
can
Bay
be bought
County
off, not
Walmart
me.
stores.
Thank you for the $2.
Step to your right to the T. State your name, ma'am.
Amy Crenshaw.
And that's a joke.
Hello, Ms. Crenshaw. This is that violation of probation
Yes,
that we
sir.
talked about, I believe, yesterday.
Yes,
The
sir.
days are all going together now. Your bond's set at a total of $1,000 on this.
Okay.
The only warning I can give you is that the circuit court judge that has you on probation may decide to go back in and raise that bond or actually even hold you without bond.
Okay.
I'm hoping not, since it's based on that small charge, but your court date is going to be May the 11th at 9 o'clock. You have the right to remain silent. Should you give up that right, anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney and to have one appointed for you if you cannot afford one. Did I appoint a lawyer to represent you on the no valid driver's license?
I
Yes.
believe you
I
did.
did.
Yes.
That's
Would
a
you like
very
public
weak
defender on
charge
this
to be
case
still
as well?
sitting around and
Please, sir.
Oh yeah, and PayPal.
I
only.
think this will all get
PayPal,
resolved.
please.
You know, the first time you go to
That's
court.
straight cash.
It's a
I
joke.
hope you get
Please
to go to
don't.
court before May the 11th. But just
Don't
remember, when
listen
you
to
go to
Mikey.
court on that driving charge. well,
Joke
You already
about it.
went
One
today
bar.
and you got set for April 28th.
Got one anyway.
Still may be a chance to work it out before then. Somebody
Okay.
from Mr. Griffith's office may get up with you. They're
But
trying
yeah,
to focus in on.
Invalid
cases.
driver's license is
Good luck to you.
Okay.
that's a rough.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Step to
Yeah,
your
they could
right.
be stuck in
Right
jail
side.
over.
Next.
I mean,
Guys, we'll see a few more, and then we got to run. We got a long one today.
it's 3:30. We
Um,
need to run now. It's gonna take.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 3:30. We need a little bit of time. I'd love to sit here all day,
Yes,
but
I'm so sorry.
We need a little bit of time to get ready for the next show.
We will,
If you
see you at 4:05.
Yeah, if you haven't already liked this video, please do so. I know it's upsetting. It's upsetting the judge.
It is upsetting the judge. Yes, he's
Judge Joe very upset over there, but we've got to get on to the next thing. Maybe we'll do an all-day court sometime. You never know. Anything else, Creed? We need.
No, that's it. See you at 4:05 for Chase, and then
that other
6
show.
For, members only. Thanks. Great crowd today. Had a couple of trolls come through. It's always good.
I couldn't figure out who. I like when the trolls change their name mid show, and I'm like, okay, you've changed your name. Good job.
That's all right. We appreciate the
Yeah,
time.
the views help out tremendously, and the likes. If you would share this if you're on Facebook, yada yada yada. Until next time, please remember.
Knowledge. Oh, snaps. On this I will stand, I will win, or I will die.